Hey everybody, and welcome to the 5th episode of the Fan Splash Podcast. I'm Tyler Hall here with Jesse Swift. Today we got our guest again is Annie McKillop.
I'm not gonna wave.
Okay.
So
Rebel.
And you may have noticed some things are a little different. I kind of went all out.
Upgrade?
Yeah, I didn't do it on purpose. I went to get a mic and a computer just for my own personal reasons, so I wasn't like completely dependent on you. And then we
all have computers for personal reasons.
but I didn't. I just had the fucking the phone, my phone.
Right.
So and then I went out garage sailing and we came across this table that lifts and holds some cords.
That is so cool.
And yeah, so you're not tripping all over them. And I was like, well, I had to go get an extension cord for it to reach this wall. And then I was like, shit, while I'm here, I might as well buy the curtains. Then the only thing left to buy was the lights. So I was like, well, fuck it, you know.
So
I
Tyler's
got it
now
all.
homeless. He's out of life.
So please, if you have any odd jobs I could pick
Yeah,
up,
we're
that'd
sure-
be great.
we have
I'll
a
do anything.
we have a Kickstarter going, but no, like honestly, out of all this like technology, I'm most impressed by this table. I think it's badass.
Yeah, I'm hopefully gonna sand it and stain it this weekend. I don't know if I'll chop like 3 or 6 inches off the legs. This is a little tall. I mean, it's not too tall, but
Yeah, it's
a little
nice.
tall. Yeah.
Tall enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the upgrades are super awesome. Just the setup is really good. Looking forward
You're
to.
blocking all my fucking action figures.
Oh, my bad.
Just kidding, dude. You
There's
assume
Captain
everything.
America: Civil War going on.
All
in
right,
the
you've
background
seen
right
him
now.
now. Let's go.
Okay. And then I got my buddy here that wasn't invited to the party.
Good. He needs to be separate from this. It's more important when there's no mutants.
For one more
All right,
outing.
what did you guys want to?
Gingers don't count as mutants.
All right. Well, we have
Is not having a soul a mutant ability?
Hey.
as El Guapo would say, we have a plethora of topics to get through today. Yeah, you got it? You seen Three Amigos?
No.
All right, he got it.
Means three friends.
I took 2 years of Spanish and I got Duolingo. So, luckily.
Okay, so, well, in no particular order, we can get on with something that I guess was news to you, and that is that they've been having some news in regards to doing a Krypton show on the SyFy channel for over a year now. I remember at Comic-Con, I forget which Comic-Con, but David S. Goyer, who wrote Man of Steel, and he did the Constantine show, and almost everything that's like DC live action related for like the last 10 years, he's been around or rotated around. But he wanted to do a Krypton show, and originally, and I don't know if this is still going to be the case, it was supposed to be linked to Man of Steel. The show was. I don't know if they're still going to do that, but it's supposed to take place years and years before Kal-El was ever born.
I don't know how they would link that to Man of Steel.
Well, like, you know how Krypton had a certain look in Man of Steel, and like,
So they would use that same concept.
yeah, I think that's what I think is he wanted to do, is that idea of scout ships and the birthing matrices and things like that, which I think would be cool, because Man of Steel is my favorite telling of Krypton and its origins. So I think that would be cool. But anyways, SyFy finally, after having a lot of restraint and stuff, ordered a pilot for the Krypton show. I don't know when it's supposed to air, but now we know that it is moving forward to be judged on its own merits.
What other sorts of shows are on SyFy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I was just gonna say
good ones.
because I've seen some shit on SyFy. It's pretty
Right.
bad, man.
I've seen trailers for shit on SyFy, and I don't watch it.
Kryptonian NATO.
So, you know, like, notice if this was like Krypton pilot on HBO, I would be like, this is gonna be great. But now I'm like, oh, they're
It's
doing
just casual mention.
yeah. So
Okay.
it's like, oh, they're doing
Well,
a Krypton.
I think the problem with SyFy is, as a network, is they're never gonna get a Firefly. That was their one gem that they're never gonna have back. And
was that
so-
Fox or was it both?
I believe it was
No,
Fox.
I thought it was a SyFy series.
Because Fox, that's what made Fox known for canceling things. Was canceling Firefly.
Maybe I just watched it when it was aired on SyFy.
That's possible.
Regardless, they throw so much money at 20 different series and pray to God that one of them's going to pick up.
And they don't throw all the money
No.
either. Yeah, because it's very apparent. It's like, yeah, we spent all the money on this, and that, but it wasn't a lot.
They have that one alien show. Was it Falling Skies? I think, isn't that SyFy?
I don't know.
This shows how much
I've
we
seen
pay
some
attention
stuff-
to the
well,
Sci-Fi Channel.
I was gonna say that's on like season 5, and people are enjoying that show. But how many shows do they have? And there's like one
Yeah,
that
you
people
could be
have heard
right.
of.
I know there are a couple of shows that people actually like
Yeah.
that are actually doing fine. That's not to say that the whole network is trash, right?
Right.
But I mean, like, what are we doing? Like, we're all pretty avid watchers of television and movies. Can you name one thing that's on Sci-Fi?
I got the one. That's all I got.
Well, but you don't even know for a fact that that's on Sci-Fi.
I'm relatively certain it's on
So
Sci-Fi.
please do a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
And
I don't care about Superman. Do whatever you want.
David Goyer, I don't know how much faith I have. Oh, so he was involved in all the Dark Knight movies too. I think he scripted all 3 of those, which you'd think would be a good thing. But then he's also scripted crap garbage films too. So
Do you have an example?
I had examples, but I can't think of them right now. I don't want to sit here and spend a while thinking about it. But yeah, since it's sci-fi, we don't know how to level our excitement. I guess we'll see. But now that we're aware of it, maybe we'll check out the pilot when it comes out, see if it's worth actually checking out.
Really, there have only been recently some DC lines that have actually done well, and I think the Flash is still doing well, and
Flash has been great.
Smallville did well. I mean, they made it 10 seasons.
Yeah.
And
Supernatural just recently passed up Smallville.
And Supergirl's fantastic. And I think, the thing of it is that Supergirl, they got all 10 seasons of Smallville done in one season.
Oh, there you go.
And so that was
So you've watched Supergirl and you like it? Okay.
Avidly.
I only watched one episode.
I
of it
haven't
so far.
seen. You watched the crossover Flash episode?
I actually haven't yet.
Oh, okay.
I just watched the pilot.
And see, I'm
I'm still way behind on the Flash, but I do enjoy the
too.
Flash much more than I ever did enjoy Arrow.
Try Supergirl out. You'd really enjoy it.
It feels like what I didn't want to watch about Arrow and the Flash in the first place. So you're right. Like I probably should
good.
watch it.
The fights look good. Her flight looks good, and I think that was kind of the thing with Smallville is that you were learning how Clark becomes, Superman. Yeah. And in this one, she's got all her abilities, and she knows how to use them, and she knows that Clark is Superman and that they're cousins, and so they don't have to sit there and retell everything. She's just like, I want to do more with my abilities.
Right.
And here we go. And you're not learning about her discovering them. She knows how to use them, and it's great. So I'm really hoping that...
And they have one of my favorite DC characters on the show, Martian Manhunter.
And he looks so good.
Yeah.
Martian Manhunter looks incredible when they finally show him.
Imagine if they
Manhunter.
put a couple $1 million behind that for like a cinematic movie.
Yeah.
How good he could look if that's what they can do on a limited budget. So I think we're all cautiously optimistic. We'll see what they have to offer with Krypton. I'm looking here, seeing what's most closely related. We keep it in the DC world for now as much as we can.
I'm always skeptical. Sorry to cut you off.
No,
I'm always
okay.
skeptical with network television shows.
Yep.
I've grown more accustomed and fond of like HBO and Netflix, and even AMC. Stuff like that, but Supernatural, I'm a big fan of Supernatural.
Daredevil, Jessica Jones is better than I said. Daredevil and Jessica Jones and like Game of Thrones. It's all like immensely more like
it's very
well
immersive.
done. Yeah, immersive,
It pulls you into
perfectly,
it.
perfectly done. Yeah,
I think Netflix also does a good job of even like their shows like F is for Family and stuff. They want it to have a progressive timeline in the season. BoJack Horseman, didn't expect that with it, so you always have that mostly to look forward to. And then, I mean, clearly a Krypton show would have that, but
yeah.
But they've really got to do well on the pilot, and if they make it through a full season, they're really going to have to sell it because...
It's funny that you mentioned Firefly, though, because that's what killed Firefly, is, if I recall correctly, I don't know if you've seen Done the Impossible.
Didn't they air off?
They aired, I believe, the second, because, well, in 1999, I was 7 years old, and so I didn't watch it then. But I believe they aired the second episode, which is just, like the rest of the storyline, and then they didn't air the first episode that explains everything and why they're all there and all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
So people are coming into the show like, oh, that new Firefly show's coming out, and then they watch it and they're like, what the fuck is this?
What's happening?
Right? Yeah. And so of course it got canceled. Yeah, so hopefully, I mean, I don't think they'll pull any of that shit, but you really gotta, like, especially on network television now, you really gotta do well with the pilots.
Oh yeah,
Just put your whole first season budget into the pilot.
Absolutely.
it used to be like just 10 years ago, there'd be a couple great shows on television. Everyone was watching like those couple great shows. Now you talk to any one person and they could have 5 completely different shows that they're completely immersed in than the 5 shows that you watch. And there's just so much content out there that, yeah, it's very, very competitive. And the quality's got to be there. And they're kind of fighting upstream, trying to have a sci-fi channel show compete with all the other superhero things that are on. We're also getting Preacher is coming out. And that's
I'm
a
so
DC.
stoked for that. Preacher's going to be so
Preacher's going to be great. And then, yeah, we got basically the CW versus, which is like 3 comic book shows, and
That's
Daredevil and
I want
on Netflix.
Sandman to happen. I want some Neil Gaiman works to be.
I heard Joseph Gordon-Levitt just left the project recently,
Oh, he left it.
which is upsetting.
Damn it.
Yeah, damn it, triple damn it. So
I heard some news about Neil Gaiman earlier today, but I don't remember what it was.
I don't know a whole lot, but the second we get some more information on Sandman, I would be happy to report on it because it's a very interesting property. And I almost picked it up the other day when I was in the comic book shop because I haven't actually read it. I've just heard people talk about it.
It's great. Expensive.
Isn't it broken into like 3 stories or 3 like
3?
more than that?
Yeah, just get the giant $100.
Okay, we'll do. So keeping it in the DC world, it was just announced here a few days ago that Willem, I called him William for like the last 5 years.
It's funny because everybody does.
Yeah.
But I've always known that it was Willem Dafoe. So,
Well,
but I don't correct people about it.
William
Dafoe.
Defoe.
It's kind of a little William Dafoe.
Away.
well, Willem Dafoe is going to be in Justice League, which is fascinating. And I first saw the top of the article before actually reading the article, and I'm like, oh well, he's got to be a villain because he's Dafoe of the movie. And I know it's a terrible joke, but they said he's going to be a good guy, is what the port says.
Really?
I think it's the Wrap that's reporting on it, and they're usually pretty reliable for the stories that they break.
Well, I doubt he's going to be a member of the Justice League themselves. He may be just a side character.
It's so much harder to guess if he's a good guy. Like, if he's a villain, I could go down a track of like 100 different villains that he could play because he does them so well.
Right.
Somebody said that maybe he could be Harvey Bullock, and I'm like, J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon and then Willem Dafoe as Harvey Bullock would be such a great GCPD team.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of J. Jonah Jameson and Green Goblin jokes. I mean, they're just begging for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just with the casting announcement, the jokes are already, starting to happen. As a hero, is there any characters that, or maybe not so much a hero, but as a non-villain, is there any characters that come to mind that you guys would think he might play?
That Willem Dafoe might play?
Yes, sir.
Well, he'd be a really awkward Alfred.
We have Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Jeremy Irons wasn't already cast, I could see them trying to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would depend on which version of the Flash they may use. I mean, he may play an older...
Like Jake Garrick or something?
Right. It's tough because he's got such a unique profile.
Sure.
That
Do we not know which one he's supposed to be?
Ezra Miller is playing Barry Allen.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's Barry Allen.
It is Barry
okay,
Allen.
It's Barry Allen.
That was confirmed a little while
Sorry,
ago.
continue.
I didn't know that either, actually.
Yeah,
No,
that's why
it wasn't public news. It's not like when they said that, yes, Ezra Miller would be playing Barry Allen. It went all over the place. It was like they had a DC special on TV, and they were interviewing Ezra, and he was talking about Barry Allen and playing the role and stuff like that. So, yeah, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to do Wally West in the movie and then Barry Allen on
that's kind of
TV.
what I was thinking, is just have an older Wally West.
But now we have both of them on the TV show. We have Wally West and Barry Allen. Spoiler alert. Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
I guess.
The Flash isn't a show that I'm emotionally tied to.
Oh, you could be. You could get there. Yeah, I can't think of too much. I know there's a lot of people. Oh, the really stupid thing that's going on right now is people are, and this is people that obviously didn't read the whole article about him supposed to be a good guy, is that they want him to be the true Joker, and that this Jared Leto Joker is like a
Jason
knockoff. Yeah,
That
Jason
would be dope, though.
I see. I don't disagree with that.
I hate that idea.
Why?
Listen to him.
Everything-
the true Joker. Are you serious? When you got like this sinister guy like like Jared Leto trying to like be this showy in your face like Joker
Almost
character.
a copycat.
Yeah, exactly. It's very copycat.
That would be sick, just to have
yes.
a Joker in the
God.
background that's just like.
I don't
he's
hate
trying.
the theory. I don't hate the theory. I would be happy either way. I am very excited for Jared Leto as the Joker. I'm very excited. I want to see it. But how cool would that be? If it was just Jason, if he was just Jason Todd, you just...
They showed things that make me believe that that's not possible. And I believe if they didn't show those things, that maybe I'd be more open to it. But the fact that they have tied the imagery of this Joker jumping into a vat of acid after Harley Quinn and that like tying their origin together would be very upsetting if you have... It's like the second Joker is the one that created Harley and not the original.
Right, but you have in BVS the Killing Joke Robin suit. So that implies that he's... And he says, you know...
But couldn't we have a Red Hood Batman story like down the road?
Yes, but at the same... And, you know, I know there's never been two Jokers. There's never been a second incarnation of the Joker. But it wouldn't stand to reason that Jared Leto, who's so much younger... I mean, was he an 18-year-old Joker when he killed Robin?
Well,
you know, because Batman's been doing this for 20 years.
Do you know Jared Leto's actually 2 years older than Ben Affleck?
And what's the timeline?
Did he kill? Huh?
Is this a younger? This could be a younger Batfleck.
Is it? Yeah. Is it?
What,
Well,
in Justice League?
no. Suicide Squad. What's the timeline in Suicide
Oh,
Squad?
that
Is it current?
we don't. We know it's at least after Man of Steel
Okay.
because they mentioned Superman.
But like he's driving a car in it. Like, what is the year and model of the car? If that would discredit it being like in...
it can only be so
They're gonna
old,
fuck
though,
that
'cause
up so bad. It's gonna be like a 2018 Honda Brezza or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I would have... If they were going to do Willem Dafoe as the Joker, I would have rather them just come out the gate with it.
Why?
I don't know.
Wouldn't that be exciting news to hear? Wouldn't
You
it
mean
be
like
an
learning
interesting
the-
story? It'd have depth to it. It would be complicated. It would be nice.
And if they don't tell you,
But they won't tell you.
John Connor's the Terminator. Well, now I don't need to see that movie.
Yeah, it was
Why
terrible.
did everybody hate Genesis? Emilia Clarke, by the way.
Yes, that's another...
announced there's not going to be her, at least. In
I was talking about that with some friends. Like, somebody
Sequels.
wanted to...
As Sarah Connor.
as Sarah Connor.
Someone posted that on one of our networks today, and they're like, haha, she's leaving the project because it's a bag of shit. I was like, that wasn't a bag of
That
shit.
was not a bad movie.
I love that movie. The movie, I pretty much knew the entire series of events before I watched the movie. I felt like I'd seen that movie before.
They gave the
and not
movie
just
away.
necessarily because it was a Terminator movie, or that it was all given away maybe in the... the structure of it, clearly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I feel like I've seen this movie like plenty of times. That being said, John Connor was great, dude. It was...
Isaac Clarke? Is that his name?
Is that his name? Yeah. Great. You know, like an unexpected turn. It kind of took away the whole...
I love the, Papa Terminator storyline of him showing up when she was a little girl and raising Sarah.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Which would help make her a little bit more of a badass.
Yeah.
And that's what
She
it is.
skipped straight to the T2 Sarah
Right.
Connor, yeah.
And that's it's a lot like the Star Trek, the J.J. Abrams Star Trek. It's an alternate timeline.
Right.
It's a...
Not that we couldn't
Last
just cover
resort.
the entire spectrum of sci-fi movies in this entire conversation.
Probably.
I
deviated,
did.
isn't it?
Well, I
did-
did want to mention
okay.
that. I just didn't put it in my notes.
No, that's okay. So we
Because
found a way to
everybody
do it.
was... Someone posted on Think Now, I don't know who it was, but they were talking about Genesis being a piece of shit. I'm like, dude, why?
You're a piece of shit.
You saw it. You saw it.
Yeah.
You saw it, liked it, saw it, liked it, saw it, liked it. That's 3 for 3.
The movie was good. I think their
There's issues.
promotion of the film was horrible.
Very
because
flawed.
I didn't want to see so much of the movie.
It's like the second Batman v Superman trailer. It's
Absolutely.
like, why did you do that?
I think it was great. Definitely it brought us back to more of like the first 3 Terminator movies.
I think
it wasn't as
I still
campy
think
as the TX.
I think it's in
is
the
that
top.
is that Terminator 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Terminator 3 is the only one I had a problem with because it was just like
Salvation?
It was no, I would say like no. Terminator Salvation was great. It was a different
Yeah,
take
I
on it.
liked
It was the
Salvation.
future. Salvation was fucking
So
awesome.
It was a
we're-
great way to find.
we're
And
gonna-
Kyle Reese,
we're gonna
the kid that plays
disagree on
Kyle
that
Reese
one.
looks just like the original Kyle Reese.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna disagree on a lot of things. I never saw the Sarah Connor Chronicles. I tried to watch it.
I watched half a
recently
season.
on YouTube.
I couldn't get into it.
It's okay. I heard it was
We
great.
should watch it now because
Huh?
it's got the chick from Game of Thrones.
Who?
Lena Headey is Sarah Connor.
Oh, the Queen.
Yeah, incest queen. Sorry to offer.
And then it's interesting that Khaleesi later on plays Sarah Connor.
Ain't that a funny?
But yeah, Terminator 3 was essentially like Terminator 2. If you call Terminator 2 Dragon Ball, Terminator 3 would be Dragon Ball Z. Or you could call Terminator Dragon Ball.
There you go.
T2 Dragon Ball Z, and then
T3 is GT.
GT, yeah,
for sure.
GT for sure.
Right, because 2 is the best, and Dragon Ball Z is the best. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
So I think we all enjoyed Genesis. I was looking forward to another one, but it sounds like they've kind of they've completely kind of
do not cut that out of the track. You need to watch the whole video up until that point.
There you go.
You got 20 minutes in that you're looking for that. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm sad to hear that. Well, you know what? That movie was going to lose money if you just based it off of the American box office. It bombed over here. Yet overseas, because we know that Japan and China, not being racist, loves their robot movies and stuff. That's why Pacific Rim made more overseas, and so did Terminator. They both made more overseas than they made here.
Which I find surprising because Pac Rim was such a good movie.
I never saw it.
You got to come over and watch it. I got a beautiful 4K
You got
version.
it? Did you watch Chappie? Did you borrow it? Did you actually take it home?
Yeah, I did take it home.
You haven't watched it yet? Fuck you.
I've said
a good movie.
Okay, you know what? So my excuse is I've been watching Star Wars Rebels, so lay off my back.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Win.
Is that an animated series?
Yeah, it's freaking fantastic so far.
I haven't even seen the Clone Wars.
I'm like 6, 7, 8 episodes in.
You're missing so much.
It's all on Netflix though.
So
I should watch it. Yeah.
I told you already I probably won't get into Clone Wars because I tried it a little bit, but I am and will watch Rebels.
I watched the original Clone Wars, the 5-minute clips in between episode 2 and 3.
Those are completely different.
Well, don't they tie into episode 3? Don't
But
they
don't
introduce
tie
General
in
Grievous and shit like that?
Clone Wars, the series.
What is Clone Wars? Is it like a split timeline, or is it in between episode 3 or 2 and 3?
It's. Do you remember the movie they came out with?
I never
Clone
saw
Wars.
the Clone Wars movie either.
It was the introduction of Anakin's Padawan, Ahsoka Tano. And basically, without telling you everything, through the progression of the Clone Wars series, you see her from, a cocky little kid who starts, calling him Sky Guy and R2-y, using cute little nicknames, and she's almost annoying. And then as the show progresses, she gets battle-hardened and becomes more of a Jedi, and under Anakin's tutelage, centers herself, and you really see her grow. And then the series ends, and some stuff happens with some dudes and some things, and then Rebels comes out, and they finally reintroduce her.
Can I interject for a second?
No.
Yes.
I can't wait for Rebels Season 3 because then I think we should have by that point, hopefully I'll be caught up. And then we can have a Rebels review show.
Yeah,
Shit,
which would be great because the reintroduction of Ahsoka as an adult is fantastic.
And so my question is, I've read multiple different things on this, so I don't know what sticks. Is this supposed to be canon to the rest of the films? Okay.
Everything Clone Wars was before Disney, but still canon, right?
Yeah.
Because it was overseen by Lucas, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's canon, and then everything that has happened Star Wars-wise, whether it's comics, books, TV shows, since Disney acquired LucasArts, is canon.
Yes. And what would actually be cool is, since in a couple weeks I will be in Disneyland for May the 4th, is I'll see if I can't do a little digging in there and see if I can't run into anybody, and then we could do a little recap from what happened in Disneyland on May the 4th and do a little Star Wars bit.
That'd be cool. That'd be very cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm not opposed to putting. Yeah, it'd be nice to have like little skits or something too.
Yeah. Lots of things that we can.
Anyway,
you want to go to some of those?
I just wanted to casually mention all the independent clips that we just watched. Founder and the two Bryan Cranstons, all based on true stories.
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't think about it until just now that all three of them were. I was thinking two of them were, but yeah, all three of them are. Well, true stories.
If you've heard of Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston is from
in a
this
little
known show called Malcolm in the Middle.
And Breaking Bad. I don't think anybody watched
made him a
that.
big deal. What? Huh?
I was being sarcastic. I was saying I don't think anybody watched Breaking Bad.
I said Malcolm in the Middle is supposed to be funny, but
that's okay. I laughed.
I didn't watch Malcolm in the Middle.
It's great.
It's on Netflix.
I never watched it.
It was
just
all I can think about is him doing his quick walk in his little like one piece speedo outfit thing. Speed walking.
Oh yeah, or when he's teaching the kids how to rollerblade.
Yeah.
But imagine him then to now.
It's so different and weird.
Because you wouldn't have even looked at him the same.
I would have never thought that Bryan Cranston was going to be like the next big thing. Watching Malcolm in the Middle.
Even at his age, he didn't have to be young and developed. It was just, here's this great, I hate to say middle-aged because but he was. And he's fantastic.
Well, I remember Malcolm in the Middle had ended, and then I watched Little Miss Sunshine. He plays Greg Kinnear's boss in Little Miss Sunshine. And I'm like, oh, hey, it's that guy.
It's the guy.
Like, nobody knew who he was. Well, I can't say nobody, but I sure didn't.
Sure.
But then, of course, after Breaking Bad, after refusing to watch it for almost the entire time it was on the air.
I didn't watch it until it was done airing as well.
I didn't. Same.
Just because I've always had that weird stigma with shows, and I've always been wrong 100% of the time. So now I just started watching them when people recommend it. I did it with Lost. I did it with Lost. Dude, we ran into some meth heads yesterday. Just never mind.
As Jesse looks around all jittery. Just
well, I thought I picked up your water for a second. That'd be great.
Your mouth tastes good.
But anyway, after watching it, so I did that with a lot of shows: Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, Lost, included. Doctor Who. You're the one he's the one that got me to watch Doctor Who. I tried to get him to watch it.
You're welcome.
He's watched, huh?
You're welcome. Damn right.
Okay, well, let's... Out of the three, which is the founder... Is it the What's the name of the movie's Instigator?
What's the
Stop diddling his ideas.
Is it the...
Okay, so there's the founder...
It's the Infiltrator.
Infiltrator. I knew Instigator was not right. So Infiltrator,
is
founder...
Is the third one called The Something? Like, is it The Founder?
All the Way.
The Instigator.
It's called All the Way.
Oh. The All the Way.
All the Way.
All the Way.
So
The Knowing.
The All the Wayer.
Out of those three, what do you guys both want to see the most out of those three?
Well, because I know so much about LBJ, don't get me started. No.
I feel really bad about it because I used to want to be a historian, so I did a lot of that stuff. But I'm watching like fucking 11/22/63. I got one episode left of that. That's the Hulu original series with James Franco. It is fantastic. But my girlfriend keeps asking me, who's that supposed to be? And I'm like, oh fuck, I don't know. I have no idea.
Look it up.
Dude, honestly, and I feel the same way about LBJ. I feel like I should know a lot more about it, but guilty. Don't get me started on the educational system of what we, retain from school and shit like that, and what we're really taught. But the movie itself looks good. Hopefully it's true to what actually happened and you learn a little bit.
I don't really care about politics, and especially...
That's horrible. Why the fuck would you say that?
That's a fact.
Why?
We have to cut you from the show.
I just don't care. But we're not going to get on that.
Okay.
It's just politics. I think The Founder looks great.
Yeah, I was going to say, I got a toss-up right now.
LBJ to Mickey D's.
Well, we love them quarter pounders.
I'm caught between The Founder and then... crap.
The Infiltrator.
The Infiltrator, god damn it. Yeah, so The Infiltrator and The Founder both look really great. I really enjoy Bryan Cranston, but I'm like obsessed with Michael Keaton movies. I love watching Michael Keaton.
I want to see Michael Keaton because his mannerisms are so well in his acting. It's just very immersive.
It's funny. There's like a certain look that he does that every time he does it, all I can think is, "You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts."
He's really good at like scrunching his face up and then bringing it right back out.
Yeah, that's Batman '89 when Everyone forgets about that scene for some reason, but it's like
I forget about a lot of that though because I'm just like thinking about his hair. He's always looked a little like Billy Crystal.
Yeah,
like a better acting Billy Crystal. Not that I don't think Billy Crystal is a good actor.
Billy Crystal's best role was Princess Bride.
Whoa, who was he in that? Oh,
Miracle
okay,
Max.
yeah, that's the one. Okay, yeah. So, that was the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Get out.
Get out of your home.
Go home. You're drunk. Okay, but yeah, I think that looks great. And they had to tell me that Nick Offerman was in the Founder because I was like, oh, no mustache.
I don't dislike Nick Offerman.
Oh, what?
But
Here it
Have
comes.
negative
Yeah, no, I
opinion.
got to prepare myself for this. You got to break my heart.
You know how they like recently like exploded with Chris Pratt and built him up?
Sure.
Right.
I was okay with that. Nick Offerman, he's good, he's great, but I feel like his recent explosion in Bryan Cranston as well. His explosion in popularity is a little. He plays a certain type.
Sure.
He
does.
and without even being typecasted, he plays a certain type.
Right.
And I think that
He's got a very permanent look.
yes.
He can't
And I
change
think
it.
that takes you a lot. He's a very particular looking person, and that's not to say he's ugly or anything. But I just think that it's like when you watch like a Jim Carrey movie, you don't think, oh, that's freaking
Right.
whatever his character's name is. You're like, that's.
Did you see the second season of Fargo? Nick Offerman was in that. Slightly.
No, I haven't even seen Fargo at all.
It's a great show.
I've seen the Coen Brothers film. I've seen every Coen Brothers.
Isn't
film.
Martin Freeman in that?
Martin Freeman is fantastic.
Everything he does.
Fantastic.
Bilbo from The Hobbit, and Watson from Sherlock.
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
At World's End, or is that what it's called?
Half
Or is
the
that-
Edgar Wright movies.
What
There
is
you go.
what is it called?
It's At World's End.
No, it's not. It's the World's End. At World's End is Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh. All right. So, is that everything we gotta say about those?
Moving
three films?
on.
Yeah, I'm very excited for Bryan Cranston though because he is a great actor. Not the only reason why I went and saw Godzilla, but I was really excited about it because of it.
You brought
And
up
then-
Bryan Cranston, looked that back, and it took me like a second to figure out. I'm like, what back here made you think of Bryan? But I got you. Yeah,
Godzilla.
got you.
Yeah, no, I think they should reboot Godzilla again, man.
I actually got some.
They're not done with the round they've got going.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess so.
He's got King Kong to fight.
Yeah,
Huh?
you know about that, right?
What are they doing? King Kong versus Godzilla?
Yeah.
They are doing
Are
King
you
Kong.
fucking kidding me?
No.
How did I not know this?
Okay,
Dude,
so
I just lost my prized possession like within the last couple of years. It's something I've had since I was 5 years old. It was the 35th anniversary of King Kong versus Godzilla. It was my favorite movie growing up. Absolutely. Well, Godzilla King of Monsters and King Kong versus Godzilla. You don't understand. Like all this shit, none of that mattered to me at all. It was fucking Godzilla and Jurassic Park. But King Kong versus Godzilla, they're really doing it?
Okay, let me. Okay.
When are they doing King Kong?
This is a very quick side rant. So
No.
no. I'm
This
just,
is the
rest of the
podcast. We're talking about this in its entirety.
okay. So and forgive me because there's been people that have come on and left the project, so I'm not 100% sure on the cast right now. I can only say who has been involved in it, but it's called Kong Skull Island. They're filming it right now at I think it was the MTV Movie Awards. They showed behind the scenes footage of them kind of like walking around and filming it.
You know, I think I did hear about Skull Island.
Okay, yes.
Okay,
So
yeah.
that's Kong Skull Island. And this movie, actually, I don't know if it's called, I think it's called Kong Skull Island, but it might just be Skull Island.
I'm gonna see what the Google has to say.
Perfect. It takes place in the same universe
The Wi-Fi's might be still being
as the
retarded.
Godzilla movie. So they're going to do, Avengers. Like, they're going to have two movies, and then...
Are they gonna go get King Kong solely to fight off Godzilla?
I have no idea. Or vice versa. Maybe King Kong comes to the city, and because...
So what happens in the original King Kong Godzilla, if I recall correctly, it's been years since I've seen it, is Godzilla's frozen in ice, and then he thaws, and he's been there for years. He starts, fucking shit up, and then so they're like, they gotta stop him. Tanks and shit aren't working, so they go get King Kong because he's got a bigger brain, and have him go fight Godzilla with the hope that he'll win. Yes.
All right.
Are you looking at IMDb?
Nope.
Okay.
Don't sass me. Legendary Warner Brothers were planning to marry their Godzilla and King Kong franchises into a single shared universe, and now they've made it official. The studios have jointly announced that Godzilla vs. King Kong will open in 2020 following Kong Skull Island in 2017.
It is Kong Skull Island.
And Godzilla 2 in 2018.
I didn't know they were going to have another Godzilla in between those two.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Although Godzilla and King Kong are currently the marquee stars of this shared universe, they won't be alone. Other creatures like Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah?
I think Ghidorah is how you say it.
Are also expected to join in on the fun. Shooting for Skull Island begins October 19th.
All right, you're going to need to cool down that massive rager you got going on.
I got to go to the bathroom for something real quick.
Gareth Edwards is directing Godzilla 2 after they wrap up Rogue One.
He did the first one. Yeah. That's why the AT-ATs look so great in the Rogue One trailers, because he's used to doing scale. He got the Godzilla role after doing Monsters, which was like a smaller independent film. That was pretty well received. Complete side rant. I hope you're excited.
Do we need, dead air for a second?
That's okay. Just let him breathe.
I'm happy.
That's okay.
Don't bastardize it like Batman versus Superman.
I had to flip it around because you guys were shitting on the Godzilla movie, which when
did I? I was just because the whole Bryan Cranston thing. I thought he was going to be a huge center of focus, and he's in 10 minutes of it.
And Aaron Taylor Johnson, I love him in some things, but he was very boring in that. Elizabeth Olsen did fine. My problem was the same problem I had with the first Ninja Turtles movies. It's called Godzilla, or it's called Ninja Turtles. Focus on the title star. The other monsters got more screen time than Godzilla did, which was an issue. But I think they're going to fix that with future installments. Okay.
Can you control your gas?
What? Moving on?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that the Ragers calm down, did you have other show notes?
Did you just keeping it light until we get into more
do we have serious talks to have here?
Huh?
Is this an intervention?
No, not serious, just more in-depth things. I just wanted to casually mention The Do-Over, new Netflix movie coming out. Part of Adam Sandler's package deal with Netflix.
I'm glad you know about that. The package deal thing, because some people don't.
Did anybody see The Ridiculous Six?
That was going to be my next question.
You loved it. Okay, no. Okay, let me I know I talk a lot, but everybody had this thing about Adam Sandler. They all say that it's he's just fart jokes and stupid voices and shit, and I'm like, not totally, dude. Watch this. Nobody has actually seen Funny People. People claim that they've seen it and that it was a 3-hour piece of shit, but nobody's fucking seen that movie.
I have one sentence.
That is a great movie.
One sentence.
Go ahead.
I walked out 3/4 of the way through the movie. Continue.
Walked out. It was a Netflix movie.
No, Funny People.
Funny People.
Not Ridiculous. I walked out and I never went home again. I left
canceled
the
my
bitch and the
Netflix.
kids. I went out for a pack of smokes.
I did walk out of Ridiculous 6. I walked out of the living room.
But the Ridiculous 6, man, dude, that I did not like that.
See,
I know you gotta
classic
take
Adam
it. I know you gotta take it for what it is. I know that it's ridiculous, and then I know that I always defend that type of humor with stuff. But I've never thought that he was fully submersed in that type of humor, and I feel like he just succumbed to the stereotype that people state about him, and I don't think that it's necessarily how
he relies on cameos.
And Pixels
Heavily.
was dog shit.
Pixels was not bad.
I wasn't a big fan. I actually
it wasn't great. It wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. It wasn't as bad as Grown Ups 2.
I was just about to say Grown Ups 2.
I didn't even watch Grown Ups 2.
Grown Ups 1 was nice.
That's what I was gonna say. Grown Ups 1 was
nice
fine.
Sentimental. It was good.
Grown Ups 2 is exactly what you were saying. He relied on all these cameos.
Grown Ups 2 is like Dragon Ball GT.
Sorry, Dragon Ball. But I mean, I didn't really care for what's his face, Team Jacob.
I'm not a big Taylor Lautner fan either. They got this show on Netflix as well, Cuckoo. It started with Andy Samberg, and it was a good show. For it's 6 episodes, second season. Spoilers, Cuckoo spoilers, but I'm doing it to save you so that you don't watch it.
What's a cuckoo?
The second season, they kill Andy Samberg, and his son just happens to show up, I believe.
So they pass the baton in a horrible way.
Baton to Taylor Lautner, and it's supposed to still be the name of the show is Cuckoo, and they recast the 2 main characters in it anyway, so it's like why even continue to watch the show? And now it's getting a 3rd or 4th season, which is ridiculous.
Do-over.
So the Do-Over actually looks like it's very apparent in the trailer that there's a lot of dumb fart jokes and shit in that. But it also looks like a little action comedy. like
it's
a
not
nice
pandering to children like the last couple Adam Sandler movies have been. It's an R. Obviously, there's a couple F-bombs in the trailer.
Well, they're all supposed to be more geared toward an adult audience, but let's say like who really is an adult audience? Like 13-year-olds kind of watch that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But and like I said, humor's different with a bunch of different people. You know, you don't have to like pander to whatever other people's humors is.
True.
So if you think that kind of stuff is funny, if you have like a more your humor's more on that level, then that's fine. You know, watch that. I don't have to put it down. But this one doesn't look like that. I mean, it looks like it has some of those, but it also looks like something that could actually entertain me.
I like that it seems to have less of the problems that, you know, I brought up, Andy's brought up. It's that movie doesn't seem to rely on cameos. It's pretty much David Spade.
We know
and
Adam Sandler ain't no actor. I mean,
have you seen Punch Drunk Love or
Rain on Me or Rain Over Me?
I haven't
Rain
seen
Over
it.
Me.
I thought that was a good movie.
Rain Over Me is a good movie only because he pointed the gun at the cops. If he wouldn't have done that, it would have just been this long, dragging, eventless, depressed piece of shit. But
Click is pretty good, actually, as a dramatic movie. I mean, there's comedy in it, but it's a.
I actually cried when I saw it in theaters. So.
Well,
you think about it. I was I was 14 years old when it came out. So.
And I mean, I'm not saying he hasn't had good roles because I still love Big Daddy to this day. That's a great movie.
Oh, who doesn't?
But I think within the last 10 years, I think his career has just kind of tanked.
For sure.
And I think that he's peaked a while ago.
For sure.
He's still trying to maintain that.
Well, I think
a lot of people think that he just makes a movie to keep his friends insured.
Sure. I have a different favorite movie than most people for Adam Sandler. It's actually 50 First Dates. I love some of his older stuff, but 50 First Dates I've watched a million times.
God,
I do too, but like she's not what I take out of the movie. I take out Rob Schneider's Ula and then the big fat Hawaiian dude in the restaurant. Tattoo
you like
face.
Peanut butter cups?
I'll put peanut butter cups in your eggs. Yeah, dude, I love that guy.
It's a good movie, but I don't think that any of them compare to I think Big Daddy, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore.
I watched Billy Madison 2 weeks ago. I've seen that movie probably 30 times. I laughed my ass off the entire movie.
So I guess the question is, do you guys think that he's still got a good role left in him?
Yes.
Do you think he's still got something left to give?
If he were to try it, it would be easy for him to go back to that.
I have a dual.
But I think he's trying to. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Sorry.
Sweet, look at him talking.
I was gonna say that I think there's a dual answer to that. One is yes, I think he's got that role in him. Do I think this movie is going to be that role now?
Clearly not.
Yeah.
Clearly not.
But I think he's not dead yet.
No, and he definitely does have like a personality type that's very apparent in his films, just like Will Smith, that we mentioned in the last podcast.
And it's Smith.
Huh?
There's no TH. It's just two F's. Will Smith.
Smith.
Yeah.
Smith and Speederman.
Yep.
Speederman.
Exactly.
There we go.
Sounds like a law firm.
Avocados at law.
They if you saw Cobbler, that actually wasn't a bad movie. It got totally like Green Hornet at the end, but it was.
It also got panned.
Yeah.
They tanked it.
It was very entertaining. I was entertained.
I'll give it a chance. It's on Redbox, I think.
It's on.
I started it on a lunch
on
break
Netflix.
and then never finished it.
All right. So where did you want to go into?
Well, we can go into. I have 2 Marvel stories. You want to cover the Marvel stories?
Absolutely.
All right. So, start out with...
End with Jon Favreau so that we can transition.
You said end with Jon Favreau?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll end with
Now
Jon.
they know we're going to end with Jon Favreau.
Well, that's okay.
What
Because,
if Jon Favreau's watching?
well,
He's not.
we saved the best for last, John. So the first Marvel story, and this is kind of just one of those things, like one of the worst kept secret. If you're following these stories, one of the worst kept secrets is that Robert Downey Jr. is going to appear in Spider-Man, the 2017 movie. There's been so many stories about the relationship between Sony and Marvel, and what that includes is equal usage of each other's characters. So in the Spider-Man movie, they can use Marvel characters, and for it to matter whatsoever, it needs to either be Chris Evans or Robert Downey Jr., or the audience really isn't going to care that much.
I was already going to say, aren't we at the point that we've seen them in enough movies that if you tell me that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in Spider-Man, I'm just going to go, okay. I mean,
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal. Right?
There's a lot of people online right now. They're like, and that's just because this is the first Spider-Man movie with a Marvel character interacting with, like, Civil War. Obviously, they're all together, but it's not a Spider-Man
is it
movie.
a cameo or is he going to appear as Iron Man and assist Spider-Man?
Not
that would be
answered.
phenomenal.
Not answered.
That would be phenomenal.
It's just Robert Downey Jr.'s
Unless it's like Tokyo Drift style when he's already dead.
I feel like
shows.
Go ahead. Tokyo Drift.
Or is it Tokyo Drift or it's this? I'm not big on the Fast and Furious
Me
ones.
neither.
So one of the guys dies in Tokyo Drift, but he's in the fourth one in the beginning. Yeah, I don't fucking know.
I've watched one of them.
But
so.
like,
Yeah,
but some people have the theory that Iron Man will die in Civil War. Isn't Captain America supposed to?
In the comics.
In the comics,
comic
he's
books,
supposed
Captain
to, but I
America
don't think he will. I think Iron Man will.
Well,
I don't
Now-
necessarily
I'm taking
know
a pretty
how.
big liberty.
Well, but how long are they going to continue to try to use these characters?
well, that's some people are saying that this report of RDJ being in Spider-Man and this is supposed to be a post-Civil War Spider-Man is almost a spoiler for anybody who thought that he might have died in Civil War.
But like, yeah, but what I was trying to allude to is, it could show. You said there's going to be no origin, but it could show how a little back in time of how Spider-Man got pulled into the whole Civil War
That would
thing.
be interesting.
I think
Iron
that's
Man.
covered in this movie,
Okay.
from my understanding. I mean,
Okay.
like I said, I haven't really listened to a lot of spoilers, but people have said that the reason Spider-Man is on Tony's side is clear and apparent in this film.
Okay.
So, maybe.
But I mean, it could be like a Nick Fury thing. You know what
It
I'm
could
saying?
be,
Like
yeah.
at the beginning.
I think knowing Robert Downey Jr. as a person, originally when they had written and they were looking at Civil War, it was supposed to be like super, super Cap focused, and Tony was just going to be like, you know, kind of a smaller role. It wasn't going to be this kind of like 50-50 battle that it is now.
Why would they even try that with Civil War though?
I know, I think it needs to be what it is right now. I think it's how it should be. But Robert Downey Jr. is like, well, hey, wouldn't it be great if I was in it more? And, you know, made more? And like, yeah, sure, actually, that's probably...
So he actually does now want to continue to be Iron Man.
Yes,
After
because
the Infinity Gauntlet?
I don't know about after.
Because I heard they were just kind of dumping...
They
crew.
should. They
That's-
should.
I agree,
There
because
should
there's
be
so
more-
many new characters.
Just
that-
like, well, yeah. Especially in Age of Ultron, you could tell, like, the next Avengers is just going to be different, right?
Right. They
It,
try
it
to...
should continue to evolve like that.
I agree.
Absolutely.
We've had a lot of this group, you know, and I think people are ready to move past Thor. I don't think people have, like, lingering connections with Thor. We can...
I don't really have any emotional attachment to any of them.
Really? I'm Cap's got me right here, but that's about it.
No, see, because I was never a big Iron Man fan until the films. I like Iron Man. I always thought before I thought Captain America was a little stupid.
Sure, I did. Most people did.
Always been a big Spider-Man fan though, so I'm always going to be excited about Spider-Man. However, they've been Iron Man, Captain America, all them, Thor. They've been in enough movies now for me, and they've told a story, and I feel like they could just, you know, kind of retire it.
They either, I think some of them can go away, and I think some of them, it would be cool for them to take, like, a back seat. Like, they're not, you don't have to kill them off.
No,
but
no,
bring
they
people
don't
to
have
the
to die.
forefront and put them back
Almost
for, like,
let them
cameos.
retire or live their lives, and then worst comes to worst, obviously, and they'll say, we
But
need
you
back.
But you
Right.
do
It'd
need
be
to kill somebody. You do need to kill
Sure.
an important character.
Right.
Somebody important. They can't just all be... Just because they're superheroes doesn't mean... When you take away the element of danger and everybody's safe and they're going to get another movie and they're not going to die.
Which is funny, because, like, at some point we're all screaming, you know, kill somebody, we need some sense of danger. And then they, like, kill, like, Quicksilver. I'm like, that was kind of a, like, cheap shot. Like, don't
And
do
the other
that.
Quicksilver was better anyway.
What's that?
The other Quicksilver was better.
I agree with you.
I have me and one friend that disagree with you guys, but we're, like, the only ones, and I understand.
Bryce?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
Me and
that.
Bryce both like Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver more. Granted, that scene was better than anything Quicksilver did in Age of Ultron, but as a character, I liked Aaron's better than Evan Peters.
Well, you know, what Evan Peters has on the other Quicksilver is he gets to continue to have scenes and do things.
But I mean, because Cap dies in Civil War,
Right.
but he
Comics.
does come back, and so that's kind of the thing.
They all come back.
Okay, you are also exploring now all these Infinity Stones and also Doctor Strange. So you have like all these mind, reality, space, and time warping that you can do, and it's like Cap's back.
Marvel Zombies.
Yeah,
Thanks, Doctor Strange.
They could do it. They could kill him.
yeah.
They could kill him in Civil War.
I don't think they're going to, but I'm just saying if they do kill anybody, the doors open come Infinity War.
Okay, sure.
Because I read the Infinity War comic, when Thanos gets all the Infinity Gems, he literally goes like this. He's like, I want this person to disappear. And he snaps, and people are like dying and being erased from existence. Like, that is the power of the freaking gauntlet.
Terrifying. That's why they need Doctor Strange.
Yes.
Because they're now realizing, shit, there's nothing we can do unless we have magic.
Like, the setup, even though they haven't done a lot of it, the setup for Thanos and the power of each individual stone that we've seen, like, the Guardians of the Galaxy stone apparently can destroy a planet. Like, by itself, one stone. And then you have the red one in Thor, and it's like all these things that could destroy a planet by themselves, and Thanos, who can almost destroy something without the gauntlet.
Guardians of the Galaxy have the power of friendship.
There you go.
They're hooked on a feeling.
You said it yourself, bitch. We're the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. But what they have set up right now, even Hulk, you put that against Thanos, and you're like, you guys are boned.
Mm-hmm.
And then you,
For sure.
and then you start bringing Doctor Strange.
Or they could, suddenly introduce mutants into the whole thing, and then everybody has powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. I think
And
I
they
agree.
could just throw the entire planet of all mutant powers at them.
Now they're just
send-
shitting on everything.
Send Dark Phoenix up there. But yeah, so I think wheeling back a little bit, Robert Downey Jr. is probably going to wedge his way in there further than he was meant to be. And probably have, like a third leading role. Oh, and also, speaking of Michael Keaton once again, because he's working a lot, he's left the Spider-Man project.
Oh,
Who
right.
is he supposed to be?
They didn't say it, but he was supposed to be a villain. Mike, like last week, it was reported that he was in talks, not confirmed, but in talks to play the villain Spider-Man, and then I guess as of
He would have been
today,
a good
The
Vulture.
2017 one?
I didn't want the Vulture, but if he was going to be, yeah, but
He would
yes,
have been a great vulture.
I don't like that character.
But he's got a
But,
good
yeah.
profile.
He could have done J. Jonah Jameson.
And are they ever going to do the Sinister Six?
Maybe. I wonder if that's what this one's going to be.
I
They-
feel
it
like
keeps sounding like it's not.
I know Sony probably wants to do it.
I know they do want to do it, but like for all the rumors and stuff I hear about the story, it seems too condensed.
Spider-Man's got some silly villains.
Sure,
I mean, Rhinos.
but also
Craven.
It has
other
some-
than
yeah.
Batman, does Spider-Man?
Rhinoceros.
Yeah. Other than Batman, doesn't Spider-Man have the most well-known rogues gallery out of comic book characters? Because you can list off like 5 or 6 of his villains, and like how many other superheroes can you do that with?
None, to be honest.
Yeah,
I can't do it with any of them.
I'm not saying they're fantastic, but you know them.
Yeah, I mean, the
Scorpion.
X-Men, just because there's more of them. It's
Yeah.
not one singular person.
Yeah.
Sure. But like they're all like, I guess, more ensemble. Like how many lead X-Men villains do you know? You know Magneto, you know Apocalypse, and then it starts getting a little murky.
Omega
Then-
Red. Oh, how good would an Omega Red movie be?
Can he please be the villain of Wolverine 3?
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you. That'd
Hire-
be a whole nother conversation.
I don't know. Dolph
And then can they
Lundgren or
please
something.
end it at Wolverine 3, please?
Yeah.
They,
Well, he
they
is.
are ending Wolverine.
Jackman's done.
They are ending.
Well, Jackman's done.
Yeah.
But the entire franchise. Keep
It'll be The
Deadpool
Rock
separate,
playing
though. They
Wolverine.
can keep Deadpool separate.
Sure.
They can even bring the new franchise into
I,
Deadpool.
I think they should have an
Deadpool-
R-rated X-Men universe with Deadpool, which is what sounds like they're doing with X-Force and Cable and things like that.
Oh, they're doing X-Force?
Yes.
Gotcha.
X-Force is confirmed, and they said right now they're working back and forth on if they're going to do R or PG-13. Because Deadpool needs to be R. X-Force, they might be able
Good
to...
arc
I would
character.
love to see some rated R Wolverine action.
Well, throw him in X-Force. He belongs there.
Yeah, but why not, right?
Yeah.
If
I heard
Hugh
X-23
Jackman is
was
going to be
gonna
done
be
being
in
Wolverine,
X-Men 3. Or I mean in Wolverine 3.
I heard that also.
is what?
X-23, which is his like female clone.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I just saw that today.
But yeah, so second Marvel story is that our guy Jon Favreau, who did Iron Man 1 and 2, and for people
Before we get away from Robert Downey Jr., though, sorry,
yes,
real quick,
if you have
it's
notes.
just he says that they're filming Sherlock Holmes 3 this year.
who likes the Sherlock Holmes movies? Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I
Both
like
of
the TV series a little bit more.
yes.
Sherlock's much better, but Sherlock Holmes is more of a period
It's
piece.
serviceable, and it's a good.
It's
They both
great.
excel in what they are.
Yeah.
And you just kind of, it's nice. It's a nice movie where you can check your brain at the door and go, okay, a lot of these things aren't feasible in this time period, but it's entertaining as hell, and I'm not going to question it.
And I love Jude Law as Watson.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that I feel like the mysteries, at least as far as I've tried, aren't really solved, are deliberately unsolvable. And then they every intellectual thing that Sherlock Holmes does is very well explained. He explains himself.
Right.
He's very it's dialogue.
A lot of them
Methodical,
are
sure.
pretty big leaps for guesses.
They are for
But
sure.
he does break it down.
But that's supposed to be how he is, though.
Yeah.
I have to pause the conversation. I mean, you guys keep going, but I have to bathroom break. So,
Okay.
Sherlock.
No,
We're still excited about Godzilla, right?
We're gonna sit here awkwardly and just kind of
Oh God, yes.
don't blink. Don't blink.
Can we do this? I'm not gonna do this. So yeah, did you see this Sherlock special?
No,
I don't.
because I've only watched when they put it out on Netflix.
Me too. Yeah. Well, I don't have any other means of really doing it. I could try to watch it on Xfinity, but I don't think it was there. But it was supposed to be a period like the Sherlock Holmes movies.
With the same actors?
Yes, with Martin Freeman and
see that would be
Benedict
super
Cumberbatch.
interesting. And I think the thing that I did like about Cumberbatch's Sherlock Holmes is that it is set currently, and I do like the fact that they touch on some of Sherlock's vices, because now, I mean, heroin is a much more prevalent issue, and they almost make him seem like he's more of a recluse. But they do lead on to the fact that he is, using. And so I like the fact that...
Oh, they literally find him in a heroin den.
Right.
Yeah. So...
You guys don't catch anything on fire.
And so, I like the fact that they've been able to successfully incorporate current times in with the Sherlock's storyline.
Absolutely.
And I think Moriarty is a great character.
Yeah.
Which Moriarty
sure.
do you guys like more?
Cumberbatch's.
Yeah, in Sherlock
He's crazy.
for sure.
He's
Absolutely.
I love that actor. I just saw him in
Did you miss me?
the Victor Frankenstein movie.
Yeah?
He's in there.
Who did you want him to be in?
Riddler.
Oh, the Riddler.
Oh, that'd be good.
It would be good, but he can't be the only villain in it.
What?
It can't just be him.
Well, Riddler.
Riddler's not a good standalone.
No, absolutely not.
That's going sidetrack. But I think we're all. The question I want to ask, maybe you guys answered it when I was up. But which of the two Sherlock movies did you like more?
Oh God.
I
dude,
treat them
they're-
both as the same.
yeah.
I don't really
difficult
put
to
one above the
stand
other.
alone.
It's more franchise that I think of. And
Sure.
That's what we covered. Is just I enjoy the Cumberbatch more than the films.
Right.
Obviously, the budgets are different and the production's different. But I kind of think of Robert Downey Jr.'s RDJ's Sherlock movies as kind of flowing into one another.
I feel like they might be more fun, but I feel like there's more substance, obviously.
Absolutely.
There's more humor, and it's not as dry British humor as Cumberbatch's.
Which works for some people. I love
It's
it.
peppier.
Yes.
He's a peppier Sherlock. This Cumberbatch's Sherlock is very, very just doesn't give a shit.
But it's perfect. It's
absolutely.
perfect.
I think they're both
And
perfect.
It's phenomenal. Absolutely. Well, Robert
Jude
Downey
Law's a better
Jr.
Watson.
Robert Downey Jr.
think?
is I'm a big fan. Martin Freeman and Benedict Cumberbatch.
I love Jude Law and Martin
but,
Freeman.
But with Sherlock Holmes, Robert Downey Jr. is a phenomenal actor, and he is a great Sherlock Holmes, and he does a great job, and it's very and the humor is great.
Yeah.
And I do think the storylines are good too. But like a lot of what you said is very far leaps. Or what did you say? Big leaps.
I think RDJ's Sherlock is almost more ADHD. At times, he's very sporadic and spontaneous.
He's more quippy.
Yeah.
Which imagine Tony Stark, being more quippy in a different movie. But still,
But I can't imagine anybody to be Sherlock Holmes more like that than Robert Downey Jr.
Sure. Was the second one called Game of Shadows?
Yes.
Okay. The second one I like a hair more for two really easy to explain reasons. One, Moriarty was a far better villain than Lord Blackwood. and then 2, it's like they tested the action in the first movie and like how well is this received. Oh, people like it. Okay, let's full throttle it in the second movie. And I liked watching their version of the slow-mo and the calculations. And
Sure.
the second one felt more inclusive to Sherlock's mind. Like, the first one kind of asked you to fill in the blanks, and the second one's like, here's what's happening in his head. I think, but yeah. So looking
So
forward to
we're
the third
all
one.
excited. We're all excited about it. Go ahead with Jon Favreau. Sorry.
Okay, coming back to Jon Favreau, because we're talking about Iron Man. Iron Man 1 of the top comic book movies ever made, I think. At times I do think it gets overrated slightly, but it was a huge thing, and I think it was a really great movie. Jon Favreau had worked on things before, but this kind of put him really on the map and got him some more jobs, clearly, with Disney and, doing Cowboys and Aliens.
I would agree, but I've always been a fan of Jon Favreau.
Well, yeah, he's a fun actor.
And I would say that Iron Man was breakthrough with superhero movies.
I blame Iron Man 2 on studio and Hollywood just having an impact on this was successful. Let's get another one right now.
It was also their first introduction to the beginning of Civil War with him claiming himself as Iron Man.
Yeah.
So, because I actually didn't see that coming when he, at the end, just says, "I'm Tony Stark and I'm Iron Man." I was like, Civil War, huh? They're really jumping into that. 8 years later,
right.
I mean, they're still just getting to it.
That was at the end of the first one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but
in the second one, the whole time everybody knows Tony Stark.
Right. And then that bites him in the ass in Iron Man 3. But I don't want to spend too much time talking about Iron Man 3, but I will say with that reveal, that was, I think, one of the first times in a superhero movie the audience I was with clapped. When he's like, "I am Iron Man." Like, everyone was clapping in the theater. I was like, "Oh, that's really cool. I haven't really experienced that with one of these movies
Apparently
before."
you've never been to a Star Wars movie.
I said with one of these movies. Like, I understand.
Yeah.
And how much clapping was going on during the prequels?
When we were at Star Wars, when...
Touche.
What did you say?
Oh, he's like, "You've never been to a Star Wars movie." I was like, how much were they clapping during the prequels?
Well, Han Solo and Chewie didn't step on set, during the prequels.
Yeah.
And that was
trust
a
me,
massive rise up.
People
the
were
audience.
breaking their hand bones during Force Awakens, so
Yeah.
I understand. I was talking comic book films, especially.
I was crying.
I heard people people around me were crying.
I couldn't hear them over my tears.
There was like 3
I
spots
saw
in
it
the
coming
movie.
from a mile away, though. Like, I didn't know, but...
I cried at the opening credits, so I don't want to talk
on the
about
screen. I was just like,
Same here.
This is gospel.
it's happening.
But we bring up Jon Favreau and the Iron Man films because this is something I didn't really know, but it seemed like after Iron Man 2, maybe that Jon Favreau was bitter or whatever and left Marvel. That's not really true. He's been a kind of producing ghost, I guess. And they said that he's helped on several films, and with even the Avengers and even Age of Ultron, he was on set a lot helping out Joss Whedon with making certain decisions and things like that.
Did he willingly step away from directing Iron Man 3?
Did they ask him to?
I think they did ask Jon Favreau to step down, which I think was a mistake, because I think if you would have given him a third shot, I think Iron Man 3 would have been... A lot of people say it is better than Iron Man 2. I don't.
I do, because just for the fact that I couldn't tell you one thing about Iron Man 2 right now.
I was just so pissed. Well, Whiplash. I was just so pissed about the Mandarin not being Ben Kingsley. I was...
Yeah.
Once they turned that one on me, I was like, wow, this is dumb.
Yeah. I can remember more about Iron Man 3, but the reason for that is because I hated more about Iron Man 3, so I have more to remember.
What was so bad about Iron Man 3?
That could be a whole other podcast, to be honest. Like,
Really?
I've yelled at a friend for an hour and a half about Iron Man 3.
Good thing I fell asleep in the parking garage on your birthday instead of going to actually see that movie with you.
Really?
We had tickets to the premiere.
Yeah.
And it was, or was it the premiere?
Yes.
Well, and it was his birthday. We were at the Rock, and then I was like, the movie was in a couple hours, and they were all gonna hang out, but I was gonna snag a nap at the theater, and I just fell asleep. And I woke up to my alarm, and I went, "Fuck it!" I just fell back asleep.
I don't even remember.
I already had the tickets and everything. I've never done that before, but I did go see it later with Brittany.
I mean, I think the thing of it was they spent a whole movie building up this villain,
and all the trailers.
Right, and so you're just convinced, and I mean, I guess in a good way, hats off to them for duping everybody, but
But it was almost like M. Night Shyamalan
It
duping.
was such a good character development, and Ben Kingsley did such a convincing job of this character. And then they're just like, well, gotcha. Never mind. He's just a drunk. He's just an actor. And you're like, what the fuck? I've been sitting here for 2 hours, and you're just now getting to this.
I remembered my specific reaction to that scene because at first I was kind of confused because they had like he came out of the bathroom and I was like, I went like this, and then during
Mander doesn't pee.
and then during that scene, I remember going like, ha 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 ha, and then like the scene was over, and I went, fuck this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I just like it was such like a shift in reaction because like it takes like 10 minutes for what just happened to settle in your mind, and then you're like, I'm mad now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, that's like I said, I could go on because there's definitely more than the Mandarin. Mandarin just
For sure,
that comes to mind. But what I'm coming back to is Jon Favreau is going to be not executive. He's going to be the producer for the Infinity War movies. So it's going to be one of the best standalone directors we've had for the Marvel movies so far, with the other best team, which is the Russos, who have done Winter Soldier, and from what I hear of Civil War, you know, so put those two together, I think we can have nothing but excellent. I want James Gunn to be a consultant on Infinity Wars, though, because he's handled the cosmic so well.
Is it Gun?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think it was?
Goon. Yeah.
Oh.
That was Goon.
I've always heard Gunn, but
I've never heard Gun.
Really?
Well, I've never heard anyone say his name.
Oh, they talk about
there's
it.
that.
I've watched
I
lots
just
of.
assumed it was Goon.
You're an idiot.
Dipshit. The fuck out of here.
The first time I've heard it, and I know it's wrong.
So, what do you guys think about Favreau coming on for Infinity War?
Very excited.
Yeah, I mean,
Very excited.
he hasn't fucked up yet. I mean,
Dude, when
Daredevil aside.
Jungle Book.
Do we want to do a separate video for Jungle Book?
I just want to touch on it real quick about
All right, let's
how...
let's
Have
do
you
it.
seen it?
Yeah, we saw it
went and
together.
yeah. It was visually stunning.
You have not seen it? No. Okay, spoil it. Well,
Well, no,
I mean,
we're
it's
not going to
Jungle
spoil
Book,
anything. We're
but
not
so
gonna
there's
spoil
not
it.
really.
There's
Wait,
not
are
a
you
whole lot
telling
to
me there's a
spoil.
boy in a jungle and he has
His
animal
name's
friends?
Mowgli.
The tiger dies.
Shere Khan is his name.
The animals talk.
All right, so then let me ask you these questions then.
Yeah, do that.
without this, and this kind of helps me not let you give anything away.
There you go.
How the most important character to me was King Louis. How was Christopher Walken as King Louis?
I'll let you answer that one first.
Great, terrifying, massive. Yeah.
I agree with that, and then at the same time, this isn't really a spoiler, but people are asking, is there music in this movie?
Right.
Minimal, and they try to do it in an organic way. Like, instead of just breaking out to song,
It's more of a song stuck in their head that they're humming.
kind of, yeah, like Baloo talks to Mowgli about there being music. Right. And they're like, oh, well, I was raised with wolves. They didn't have music. So it's done organically. With Baloo, it felt organic. With King Louis, to me, it was weird.
Yeah. It was some sort of psychosis with it.
Yeah.
Because he just like he forcibly breaks out into it, and he's really like
Christopher Walken.
Yeah, and then and you're like, dude, this guy's nuts.
Yeah.
Like that's the vibe it puts off. So it's
Sure.
very real to me.
Yeah.
And then
now
and
is
then
his
it's
driving
like,
force getting Man's Red Fire?
Yes.
See, which is interesting because I thought I remembered the original Jungle Book pretty well, but then when they were getting into some of these songs and how they correlated with the story, which I think is the same way it was in the cartoon, I was like, I don't remember the cartoon at all, I guess. But other than a couple elements, they pretty much stayed pretty true to...
Did any of the voices not match the characters? Before you say anything, my concern was Hiss.
Caw?
Caw. Yeah. Scarlett Johansson playing that role. It was such a fitting role for the original actor.
Winnie the Pooh?
And I say Hiss because he played Sir Hiss in Robin Hood as well. So he played the same character
They really
twice.
kept him around. Well, also they used the same animation for Little John and Baloo.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So did the voices fit? And you were about to...
You first.
It's Ka.
Yeah.
I don't think that that was executed poorly. I think it was fine. Worked well. It took me a little bit to warm up to Bill Murray, but once it
He
clicked,
was Baloo, correct?
Yes, Bill Murray was Baloo. But once it clicked, because I was thinking maybe it should have been like John Goodman. I believe that John Goodman was Baloo
That would've been
in
good.
like Jungle Book 2, you know, like in the 90s or whatever,
Yeah.
you know. But so I would have gone straight for John Goodman. But Bill Murray, it took a little bit to warm up to it, but once
He's got that laid back tone.
once I got it, you know, once I was like, okay,
He does
and
the
then it was
lazy bear
perfect.
very well, yeah.
It was a perfect fit.
I think it might have taken him a hair longer to get used to it. For me, it was like after the first few sentences, because like when you first hear his voice and you see the bear, you're like, and then after about a minute or two, I was like, I actually really like this.
Absolutely.
And I
Who
think
was Bagheera? Who played Bagheera?
Ben
Ben
Kingsley.
Kingsley.
Speaking of the Mandarin,
Spectacular.
that's probably
What a fitting role for him. Too.
Absolutely.
it's for me again. Using the toss up. The best voice acting I think is between Ben Kingsley as Bagheera and then Idris Elba as Shere Khan. Like I think to me they're tied as
They're both
phenomenal.
great. Dude, and the visuals are so great. It's not like, dude, I'm watching
take
animals talk. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
these are characters with like they're fucking sinister. And
Yeah.
no, go ahead.
Oh, I was I hate interrupting you. I was just saying like
I interrupt
No, you
constantly.
love it.
Yeah.
I know you love it.
I want to say Avatar be damned. This is some of the most impressive visual effects
Fuck
I've ever
Avatar,
seen.
dude.
Yeah, I did.
Avatar is the most overrated. I think visually it's really cool. I think that James Cameron accomplished a lot with it. I'm glad that he finally got to make this movie that he wanted to make. Don't make Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5. It was okay.
Yeah, they just said 4 sequels for Avatar.
Yeah.
They said a couple days ago.
Yes.
Yeah, that's happening.
And Avatar came out in 2009. They have
Nobody
I think
cares.
the hype on Avatar is
Like,
over.
Yeah, it was over like what
dude,
a year after
when
it came out.
Well, when that movie came out, it was the highest grossing
Still,
film of
Like,
all time.
Give me a good Airbender.
when it came out, right?
Worldwide, it's still the
It's
highest
still-
grossing movie, which is it's because they
Force
re-released
Awakens.
Yeah,
No.
Force Awakens.
Force
stomped
Awakens is the biggest film of all time.
nationally stomped it. Avatar still has
Worldwide.
Yeah, globally.
I think globally, Force
It
Awakens
holds the
is better.
current record.
Avatar has $2.7 or $2.8 billion because they re-released it in theaters, which
Yeah,
counts towards
I
its
thought Star
overall
Wars hit 5.
billion. It's like 2.
Anyway, yeah. All right, Dr. Google. Now, let's
Find that out. Say number
But-
one gross.
but Avatar, dude, it was my senior year in high school when that came out, so it's been about 6-7 years. Everyone was telling me, dude, you gotta go see Avatar. I didn't see it till like it was
He's right. Avatar number 1.
that's ridiculous.
Titanic number
If
2.
they re-release-
Force Awakens number 3.
if they re-release Force Awakens, it'll beat Avatar. I'll say that.
Somehow
Okay.
Jurassic World is number 4.
Well, it had when it came out biggest weekend opening ever
Until
right?
Force Awakens,
Until Force
Jurassic
Awakens.
World had the biggest
Yeah.
opening.
But then anyway, so I don't know if you guys know this, but the mall theater down here likes to play movies until like really popular movies until they come out on DVD. It did it with the first Harry Potter. It did it with Lord of the Rings. It did it with Force Awakens, and it did it with Avatar. And so I didn't see it till just before it came out on DVD, Avatar, in theaters. But everyone's telling me, go see it, go see it, go see it, go see it. I felt bad for being a person after I saw this movie. It's like, really? A fucking fake movie? A science fiction film? You felt bad for being people with it?
Yeah.
It's like, but yeah. So, yeah, don't mention Avatar.
He was better in Terminator Salvation.
The point I was saying, Worthington, yeah. The point I was trying to make is like, Avatar to me was like Transformers, where it's like, good job on your visuals, you have nothing to carry it. Jungle Book was great in like every way.
And you could see everything in Jungle Book too. Like Transformers has this problem where it's two robots fighting each other, and they zoom in right here.
Yeah.
So like, what the fuck is the camera looking at right now?
Yeah.
A mechanical belly button.
Yeah.
Or
Which I've always hated
freaking
about
balls
Transformers.
if it's that one.
Yeah.
Do they have mechanical balls?
One of in the second one, that's holding up that is yeah.
Neither here nor there.
I mean,
Well,
it's somewhere.
It's somewhere. I was just about to say.
So, okay, now let me ask you this. Did Mowgli's character interact well with the fake animals?
I would say 98% of the time. I mean, what is he?
I didn't notice anything.
Was the background
I think it was great.
believable?
I think he
the
definitely carried the
jungle
film.
itself.
Did you know that this entire film was shot in studio?
I don't think so. I don't think
Jon
it was.
Favreau, it was out of his mouth. He's like, we shot this whole thing
I
in
thought
studio.
that was in terms of the animals.
No, it's every state. And then they were interviewing Mowgli recently too, and they would build like the part where he's like sliding through mud.
Okay.
They built that in the studio.
Okay.
But everything's either built or CGI.
There are some deliberately placed things that you could tell are like this has to be real.
Right.
Like a trail set or something like that. There's
Right.
like very specific, like a
Very
halfway emerged stone in the dirt or something like that. It was like people don't think of that really. That attention to detail is too much. But I wouldn't put it past them because when you look at the animals' faces,
First time it's worked.
huh?
It's the first time I think it's ever worked.
Yeah. Well, it works flawlessly too.
Yeah.
And like I said, it doesn't take away from the film at all that these animals are talking and that you're watching like essentially like a cartoon. Really.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting that they kind of explain it in the movie too, that like some animals can talk, some can't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like that he tries talking to, I don't know, it's like a squirrel type thing or something. He's like, "Do you have a language?" And it's just like and like doesn't speak.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, interesting. So not all animals have the
Intelligent.
brain yeah.
Who plays Shere Khan?
Idris Elba.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he was
Beautifully.
great. Yeah. Haunting. I'm scared of tigers now.
You should be scared of them to begin with.
Yeah,
You know
I'm more
that
scared.
tigers since in the last 200 years, since like the 1800s, have killed more than 350,000 people. Do you
We
realize?
kind of have it coming.
You realize how many people that is? Well, a lot of it comes with living in that area, kind of. But and they're very territorial.
You picked
But
the wrong neighborhood.
there's 350,000 is a lot. A lot.
So people are afraid of sharks. I should be more afraid of tigers.
They definitely should, especially since they're like their paws are bigger than your head. If a giant cat jumps on you, you're fucked. Just lay back and let it happen. The faster you let it happen, the faster you die.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
The non spoilers, I'll just say with Shere Khan, there's a scene with another character that you don't expect to happen, and all of a sudden it just happens, and you're like, "Whoa, shit!"
Yeah. We looked at it. Did that just happen?
Yeah,
Is that-
we're both
and
like,
then-
"Oh, all right."
Yeah.
But definitely go see it.
Absolutely.
I want to.
We're two, well-grown adult men that had no problem sitting through that
Not
movie.
one problem with it. The only thing that I thought was a little off-putting was the sound effects, nice and loud, great dialogue levels.
I think
but
maybe a
did it
theater.
end? Just you could press it again or you could not. It doesn't matter. We just wanted to get your
Pretty mug.
yeah. And then the finger.
And of course the finger.
Like there was an off balance of music and sound.
The music is it's more ambient than it is present.
Gotcha.
But it goes along with what he was saying earlier.
It helps
And
tell
then
the
it's
story.
just-
It's not.
They put the music to just the music itself to just accompany really the animals singing, but really what they're doing is just singing to create the effect of music.
Gotcha.
I cannot believe how much it doesn't look like a kid running through a bunch of CGI jungle.
Right, and that's kind of what I was wondering. Is you see somebody take a step and then their foot wavers a bit because the rest of the scene is bogus.
I am meticulous for like glaring at CGI problems.
I
in
want to
movies.
see the rim around the body just to
Yeah.
see if I can see it.
I go like this when I watch movies. I'm like, oh, that CGI is
The
really
only one
flaky.
that still bothers me is especially for like its time, like 2009, not that long ago, but in X-Men Origins Wolverine when he's first looking at his new claws
in the mirror in the
in
bathroom.
the mirror, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was
absolutely
terrible.
horrible.
And also like the fact that we've had like before that 3 movies without that. It's like
and
what?
then the fact that the rest of the movie looks fine.
Yeah.
Why is that scene where that's the only thing important in the scene?
Yeah.
Why is that not rendered well?
I don't
It's
know.
ridiculous.
It was
Anyway,
really
but yeah,
We'll probably do either today or very shortly, whenever. Sometime we'll get a full spoiler-filled, or no, spoiler-filled or spoiler-free. We're gonna review Jungle Book
yeah, we're gonna
to some
review it.
degree,
I don't
and
know
hope
about
that
today,
people
though,
have seen
but-
it. Yeah. So then we have Jason Bourne. Everyone saw the Jason Bourne trailer.
yeah.
Are you guys Jason Bourne fans?
I am.
I'm born again.
So I haven't seen them since the Bourne Ultimatum came out, which I believe has been about like 5-6 years, right?
More than that, I think.
Yeah, at least.
Because we had Legacy like 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
Was it that long ago?
Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, because I was living in Kent when that came out.
I didn't watch that.
I haven't
yet.
seen it yet. No, I wanted to though.
I I'm neither here nor there with the Bourne franchise. To me, it's
Me either.
I've seen them.
They're very entertaining. They're very entertaining.
They feel repetitive to me.
I didn't read any of it, so.
Oh yeah, they're based on books, huh? Yeah, I didn't read the books.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's like Jack Reacher. Nobody gives a shit about Jack Reacher. They're books. Oh Jesus! I was just trying to turn off your phone.
Is it in your face?
Matt Damon.
You don't want to waste your battery.
You like that? Well, it's on the charger. You like the Shia LaBeouf as every doctor? Right
I didn't realize that. Is that what that is? Yeah. God damn it. Shia LaBeouf.
Wait, he's still alive. Shia surprise.
I pissed myself.
Lock the screen, dude.
When they did
Just lock it.
Bourne Legacy.
Now press the center button. Shia surprise.
God damn it, Shia.
Well, saying is when they did Bourne Legacy, people were asking if Matt Damon was ever interested in returning to the franchise, and he basically said, no. I had a really great time with Paul Greengrass, but as long as this franchise kind of goes into somebody else's hands, I'm not really interested. And Paul Greengrass goes, I want to make another one. So now they're making another one. And I'll see it, but I got to be honest, I'm probably not going to see this in theaters.
It's got to be the end of it. Yeah. I mean, he says he remembers everything now.
Yeah.
Now Julia Stiles is with him permanently. Until they kill her.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but you see a couple of clips from the Bourne Identity, right?
Correct.
In this trailer.
I don't know if it's solely the Bourne Identity. I think it's a few of the movies. Because him jumping through that window is not the first movie.
It's just kind of flashbacks.
Yeah.
Of his history. Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of mixed into
I think the Bourne Identity was more like the first Mission Impossible of the films.
Sure.
Like apparently different from the other ones.
I like that, like, when they show those flashes, like, Matt Damon looked pretty young, and then he, like, wakes up, I'm like, hey, you're older.
Yeah. Dude.
But he's ripped.
Though, yeah.
Affleck looks better than Damon, though. He does.
Aren't they close to the same age?
Yeah, well, they're
they
like
aged
lifelong friends, I
Ben
think.
in...
at least a long time.
There's a Jimmy... I don't know if you
guys saw SyFy snuck him on there.
Did you see that? Mm-hmm. Ben Affleck, so Jimmy Kimmel and Matt Damon had a fake beef, and he like snuck him on there in the suit.
But is it a real beef or
no? It's all.
Well, I mean, you could clearly tell that like that they planned that bringing him on there,
right? Of course. I don't have a whole much to say about Bourne. It looks like a good action movie. As far as action movie sequels go, I'm so much more excited to see John Wick 2.
Oh yeah,
I'm waiting for that trailer.
John Wick 2, dude. I went in with low expectations for John Wick.
Trailer should be right around the corner.
Did you see John Wick?
Yeah.
The trailers for John Wick were like, dude, this is fucking stupid. Let's go see this shit. This is gonna be fucking They killed his dog. Like the premise for it was just so dumb. And then when you hear that, like, it was two stuntmen that made who was it?
I don't know their names.
Oh yeah,
but
it
was
they
two
made the films.
stuntmen.
And then we're like, so we're gonna go see it. And I had low expectations. I don't know about you. But I just wanted to see it because I just wanted to see Keanu Reeves kill some people.
He hadn't made a good movie in 10 years, probably.
47 Ronin had came out like the year before that, and I don't think one person has seen that movie.
And then there's Master of Tai Chi, and nobody saw that either.
And he was, I saw interviews for that movie. He was very
into it.
Yeah,
it was one of his passion projects.
But yeah, I never saw that either. But dude, the attention to detail in that is phenomenal. It's like you watch him kill every person, and then you're like, "Oh, that guy's not dead." Oh, now he is. You could tell.
I like how he shot like one of them in the gut, and then like was out of bullets, and then the guy's like sitting there holding his guy's like, "Oh,
yeah."
I want to see Nick Cage and Keanu finally go at it.
That'd be great. Oh,
the two of the campiest, worst actors that make terrible action movies.
I think
should fight.
Nick Cage has put out better performance than Keanu Reeves has.
Cameron Poe. Although that was a great movie.
But yeah, so
Con Air is one of the few
Nicolas
Cage films that I still enjoy.
What, you didn't like The Knowing? Just kidding.
I liked Knowing.
Oh, I hated it.
I thought it got a little dumb, but it was a good movie. You Can't Touch fucking Next. That's a good movie.
I thought that was great.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
It was entertaining.
Dude. That was a very good movie.
It definitely had one of those classic tropes where it's like,
sure, yeah.
spoiler alert, it's all a dream. But it wasn't like all a dream, but you know what I'm saying.
It was the furthest he'd ever seen.
Yeah, but he was like 2 days or a day in advance or something like that.
It was like 2 days.
Yes.
But his whole life, you knew that he could see further 2 minutes because he saw her before. I mean, and he didn't know what he was going to make. But anyway.
Yes. But I digress.
How the fuck do we start talking about next?
Because we don't have that much to say about Bourne, so we
love Keanu.
I like Matt Damon. I like Matt Damon in action. I like all the Bourne movies.
Martian
I'm
was
excited
great.
for this one. Huh?
Martian was great.
Martian was phenomenal.
Yep.
Phenomenal.
Do you have... I have one more topic left. Do you have any more topics on there?
Warcraft's
what my final topic
and then
was
Rita.
as well. Now, did anybody... Oh, I'm glad you put that down because I forgot to put it on...
No, that's
there.
all I got.
Has anyone here played Warcraft?
Nope, I'm not a nerd.
Cool, because I didn't either, so I feel much better now.
No.
I thought it was... You guys
I
were...
don't care that they're making a movie. It just looks like...
It looks
the
visually
intro to a
stunning,
game.
though.
It does
That's-
look like
that's
it's
one
one
of
I'm
the
of
things
surprised at the textures of the orcs.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it looks like skin.
I don't think it's gonna mix well with the human actors, though. I don't think it's gonna.
Well,
look
you
good.
could see a couple of scenes, even in the trailer, that it looks a lot like online video gameplay.
Which they may not be
Which
done.
is,
that may have been
Intentional?
unfinished.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's not to say that wouldn't also be a little deliberate as like a kind of nod to not just the Warcraft, but the world of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say I feel like I might like these movies, and I'm like comparing them because of visual quality and stuff. I might like these more than the Hobbit films.
Okay.
Because the amount of CGI in the Hobbit films, because to me it felt like bad CGI, threw me off. But to this, I feel more immersed in this Warcraft world than I did in the Hobbit movie. Lord of the Rings was great, but that's because they had more practical effects.
They did. You're right.
Yeah.
But you could see like even like in the trailer on my phone, it just looks like the definition looks really good.
Yeah.
Looks really nice.
It looks like the great intro to a game.
I'm wondering,
Yes.
like, of course, there's a huge fan backing for this movie, so that might get you your opening weekend. I want to know. I'm very curious to see how much money this movie makes, how well it does.
I guarantee it's underwhelming.
Does it have any rewatchability?
Yeah, there's
I guarantee it's going to be disappointing. I guarantee the fans are going to be pissed off about it. I guarantee it's going to be a
Fans are
shitstorm
pissed
of
off
this.
about everything.
Yes.
Well, yes, but I'm looking at it and I don't remember a whole lot from a name in the Name of the King, the Dungeon Siege movie.
Yeah.
But which I watched because of Matthew Lillard and Jason Statham. You know who Matthew Lillard is?
Of course I know who
'cause
Matthew. Shut up.
Big Matthew Lillard fan. But it feels like it's got a lot of the whole same war, our people will perish thing
Oh yeah,
about it.
it's
The story
been done.
It going back to what I was saying about Genesis, I feel like I've seen this movie.
Sure.
You know,
They've got to overcome their racial inequalities for the sake of survival.
But from my understanding, that's kind of what Warcraft is. So yeah, we've heard that
That's
story
great.
before, but that's that's kind of what it is from the source.
Okay.
There's several reasons why I'm curious how well this will do. One of them is name an actor in the film.
Nope.
I know one.
Why? Okay, but that
There's usually a draw. Like, I mean, yes, it's Warcraft, but how about the general audience? They need a draw into this film.
The people that aren't familiar with Warcraft, there's nothing drawing them.
Yeah, like if it's like Warcraft starring Chris Pratt, instantly $50 more million.
No, well, money wise, yes,
Yeah.
and getting people to go see it.
I'm not
But
saying
when
it makes it a better film.
When it comes in terms to like watching the film and being like into the film, like when you're watching it, like we were saying with like Jim Carrey,
Right,
like
Chris
Will
Pratt's
Smith
not the
and
best
shit,
example.
Chris
I'm just saying star power.
No. Chris
But
Pratt
it'll-
is the best example. Star
Oh.
power takes away from the film.
It does. Sure.
When you're
'Cause
watching
you
it,
hear
you're
that
like, I
person.
know this actor,
Right.
I know that actor, I know this and that. They did a good job in this. But at the same time, especially with a film like Warcraft, coming into it not having any expectations or not knowing anything about it or wanting it to be done right as a fan of it, and then you don't want a familiar face to take anything away from it. You don't want that.
And I think as we become adults, you lose that childlike wonder of what movies were because, and especially because I'm very focused in voice acting and vocal recognition and techniques, is all I do is I hear an actor portraying a character.
Sure.
So no matter what movie it is, all I hear is that that voice, and so that's what I'm breaking down. And in my head, I hear somebody in a booth, and I see somebody standing in front of a microphone. I don't see the character for who they are, and so the less I know, and I mean that's the fun game that I like to play, and that I think we all do subliminally.
I know
is,
that voice.
Yeah.
Is you're sitting there and you're like, or you're with your girlfriend and you're like, oh yeah, you know him from, he was in that,
Yeah.
and then he was in that.
Absolutely.
You know him from this, and you stop paying attention to the character. And so I think when they make a movie like this where they aren't shoveling in A-list actors, I think that does help them in that regard, because you can actually watch the film without breaking it down physically as to who's behind the microphone.
I think that really helped me with Kylo Ren in Star Wars, because I had only ever seen him in one thing.
I've never seen him in anything.
Girls?
No,
What have you seen?
This Is Where I Leave You.
Oh, okay.
So I was completely into the character.
Yeah, you're
Right,
like,
just
that's
the
Kylo
same,
Ren
you know,
because I don't know
like,
better.
you know, it's because Kylo Ren is Kylo Ren, right?
Same with Rey.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Like, I've
Well,
never
and
seen-
that's kind of what they're known for is getting these no-name actors, and that's why I think the big push with Rogue One is, you know, they've got Forrest Whitaker and they've got all these larger named actors, and so I
Felicity
think it's-
Jones is starting to get more popular.
It's a little disconcerting because it's like now all I'm going to see is a lazy-eyed Forrest Whitaker. I know what I'm looking at.
I know, man.
What do you do when they catch you?
Exactly. So I don't know. We'll see. But I think that's really kind of one of the few things that I will say Warcraft does have going for it is the fact that I could watch it without having to break down who's behind it.
I feel like that will add to the immersion, like you guys are saying.
Absolutely.
I'm just trying to do like some early box office analysis and predictions, and the biggest name in that movie right now is Dominic Cooper. Do either of you guys know who that is?
Yep.
You know Dominic Cooper?
I might.
Howard Stark in Captain America. And
Okay.
also he's going to be Preacher. Jesse Custard, is that his name? Preacher's name? Yeah. So he's around, but that being the biggest draw, general audience doesn't know who the hell that is.
Yeah, I'm not going to go see it in the theater.
No?
We'll download it.
I might. I'm not gonna say I won't.
I don't think I'll see it opening
depends.
night, but
Well,
I do.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it, but it depends. What else is gonna be out around that time? You know, am I gonna be?
I forgot which month this is that it comes out.
I have no idea.
Oh yeah, because you would know.
They really haven't been promoting it that much.
Uh,
Only recently have there
Yeah.
been TV spots, and
well, I think it's because it's still a little bit of distance.
And
I
I
think
we
ever
got
saw
a month or
trailers
so.
in the theater.
I don't think they want to give too much away, like Batman versus Superman.
I think there's that, and then now that the movie, the theaters and things are just getting so crowded with all these different films, I think people are having to be a little more careful and creative with their marketing, because if they know, like, this is the month of, or no, next month is going to be the month of Civil War. So if they try to push their movie while there's some big event film like Civil War, it's just going to get drowned out.
Right.
So they're trying to drop trailers and things around the edges of these other movies so that they don't just get consumed. Like, nobody wanted to market during Star Wars run.
right. No, that's suicide.
Exactly. So I think that Warcraft is doing the same thing. You have Civil War, and then you have Suicide Squad pushing their promotion, and several other things. So I think they're just trying to be careful.
I think.
Oh, and I
once-
think it'll work for him. Sorry.
No, you're good. I think once the superhero movie fad dies down, I think that Warcraft could be a little bit ahead of the curve here, because would it surprise you to start seeing Fallout movies, BioShock movies?
Well, they already tried to do that earlier. Like,
Right.
like we're in more of like a I would argue a second wave of at least more seriously done superhero films.
Right.
Going back to like there was Daredevil and
Right.
the first Fantastic Four and the original Spider-Man.
Daredevil
and
deserves
stuff
more
like
credit
that.
than it received.
Sure, but now the ones that we have now are like the superhero movies.
Right.
Those are dying down. But they tried this before with video game movies. They did Tomb Raider. They did Doom. They did Dungeon Siege. You know, they've done
And
quite
Tomb
a few of
Raider
them.
actually did fairly well.
And they're actually rebooting it.
Yeah.
As well.
Maybe with
Daisy
Ray.
Ridley.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
I think, as long as video games have been around, which has been a decent amount of time now, the two most entertaining things to watch are Tomb Raider and Mortal Kombat. Out of everything that's been made.
But Super Mario Brothers didn't happen. I
Oh,
don't hate
that was
that
my
movie.
childhood. So
I don't
fuck you.
hate that movie. I don't hate that movie. I actually like a lot of the premises of the movie itself. I just don't like that it's a Mario Brothers movie.
Sure.
It was tacky.
I like
But
the
it was
idea.
the
I
90s.
like the idea of achieving humanoid perfection through reptilian evolution.
Yeah.
I like that idea because they were walled off from like that, and that's how like the Koopas and all that shit exist. That was pretty cool, but with special effects now that they could do, they could probably make a Mario movie. You know what I mean?
Nintendo, after that movie bombed, Nintendo did this to their properties. My precious. Because I'd love to see a Zelda movie. Or a Zelda Netflix show or something.
Oh well, they've been teasing that for a while. A Netflix
Who knows if that actually
series
will
with
happen.
Legend of Zelda. Oh, those are just for the fridge.
Sweet.
Oh,
Thank you.
Girlfriend found the extra waters.
core water.
Yeah, so... Well, Warcraft, I think I'll see in theaters because it looks like a spectacle film, and I think it looks good enough to see. I might see it matinee, like we did. Did we see Jungle Book matinee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might
It's
be
like
a spur of the
$5,
moment thing.
you know?
Yeah,
It's
I
worth-
didn't. I wasn't thinking to go see the Jungle Book in any hurry. I wanted to go with her, but yeah. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I saw that movie.
And this goes back to wondering how well it does, because I wouldn't mind seeing video game movies take off if they were done as well as some of these comic book movies have been
Give me
doing.
a good Knights of the Old Republic movie. I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with all that, and I want video game movies to take off a lot, and I definitely want a Legend of Zelda Netflix series.
We have Assassin's Creed.
Huh? Assassin's Creed
That's
coming
true.
out. Yeah,
With Michael
that's true.
Fassbender, and also they're doing an animated Ratchet and Clank movie.
At least it's not
that is
Jason
coming out.
Statham.
Huh?
At least it's not Jason Statham in Assassin's Creed.
Dude,
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank. I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm actually excited for
And
that.
Angry Birds.
Yeah. Oh well.
Sorry. Shut up.
I think that I'm actually much more excited for Ratchet and Clank than I am for Warcraft. What I'm saying though, like it would be great to have more video game movies come back in another wave, a more successful wave, and more.
I hope so. Games.
You know that.
But
God of War.
at the same time,
That'd be great.
yeah, God of War.
Vin Diesel has to be.
It would.
Yeah.
That's what would
Could
suck.
it be
The
anybody
Rock.
else? The Rock. Are you gonna shoot me? Doom was a good movie. That's what I didn't want to see about Hardcore Henry. Was the cool scene from
I haven't
Doom.
seen
It
it
would
yet.
take away from it.
Interesting.
I haven't seen Hardcore
I
Henry.
want to
either.
see it.
I
Really.
saw Hardcore Henry.
But anyway, that all that being said, I still think that Warcraft is going to be a letdown to everybody. I still think that it's not going to hold up. That it's just going to be a disappointment.
This is what's going to be important. I hope, for me, going in open-minded, because I have no preconceived notions of Warcraft, I feel like I'm probably going to enjoy it unless it's just somehow horrible. But I just want it to do money-wise well so that I can see more video game movies that are taken seriously. They put a lot of money in this movie.
It kind of looks like a Romeo and Juliet story as well.
Star-crossed lovers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see. It could go either way.
I think they're trying to fit a lot of fantasy elements into this. And, like, Warcraft could be two birds with one stone if it, one, does well financially and two, does well critically. Because it could, one, help more resurgence of the fantasy genre as well as the video game genre.
I'm hoping it does, but at the same time, we also do have some that are already coming out. Tomb Raider, Ratchet and Clank, things that already have. Well, Tomb Raider already had a semi-successful run. They made a couple of them, didn't they?
Two, yeah.
Two?
Cradle of Life, and I think was the second one.
I only saw the first one.
I didn't see any of them.
Lastly, we have Power Rangers.
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah.
Different.
Did you watch Mighty Morphin?
Yeah, that was, like, for me...
That's about all I watched.
That was what came out. And so I had Mighty Morphin, Power Rangers, and then the movie came out, which was surprisingly good for, how old
If I could
was.
find it, I'd watch the Ivan Ooze movie. Again.
No.
I've got it on VHS.
I rewatched it recently. The movie as a whole, great. It's a good movie. The acting is atrocious.
And the
I'm sure.
CG is god-awful.
Which is
yeah.
oh well, come on, dude. It's 95.
It was better than
96,
the TV show.
97, 97.
Yeah.
But when you're thinking about how they've had a show for years. All these actors were on the show for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then they come into this movie that's supposed to have like these, big production values. It's supposed to be the fucking movie,
Right.
and then the just delivery is just dog shit. It's just taking
course.
away from it so much. It's so bad. The movie itself, the storyline is fucking great.
The opening
It's
scene
good.
of them jumping out
Oh,
of the
yeah.
plane.
To Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, it was just
Higher
like-
Ground, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Well,
like,
was
oh,
it was
this
it the
is so
original?
cool.
Or was it the Chili Peppers? I don't
It's
remember.
the Chili Peppers
Okay.
version of the Stevie Ray
Right.
Vaughan song.
Right. I couldn't remember if they played the original or the Chili
You
Peppers.
know why?
version.
It's because it sounds good. Stevie Ray Vaughan wrote good songs, but people covered his songs and made them good.
Yeah.
Because I don't
want to get in. I won't get in
Anyway.
with you. I love Stevie Ray Vaughan.
I don't
But,
dislike Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Right.
But I think that when people cover his songs, they turn out just a little better.
The Chili Peppers one has a little more pep in its step, and I think it's fun to listen to. And almost every time I've heard that song in a movie, it's been the Chili Peppers version.
So
It's because the Chili Peppers version is better. That's just all I'm saying.
So Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks
Thank you.
looks like Poison Ivy and not Rita.
She looks like Poison Ivy meets Reptile in Mortal Kombat.
Or Enchantress, like in the Thor comics or something.
She's
But
so green.
I know that it's very different and she's very green, but like I don't think there's too many great ways to do the original costume.
Maybe try when you like edit this, put it like a side by side
Yeah.
comparison of each picture.
She's got
Because-
the same mouth, and I mean her eyes are a little squinty. Like I mean she's kind of, but the look just it's not there for me.
I think that she could pull off that like
Right.
Oh yeah,
That cackle.
Elizabeth Banks is she can do
for
nuts.
sure. Oh, she's phenomenal.
And how
That
many of
looks-
the
she's
American
great.
aspects are they going to continue to use? Because
It's gonna be
because Zordon was American, like that
Okay.
wasn't in the Japanese.
Kevin Spacey for Zordon.
So
Is Zordon even going to be in this?
that's what we don't know in the Japanese version.
I like Zordon.
which was completely different.
Rangers.
For sure.
I mean, the Yellow Ranger was a dude.
Is it Neo Rangers?
Zoo Rangers.
Zoo Rangers?
Yeah, and
Okay.
so Zordon didn't exist. Alpha didn't exist. All of these characters weren't anything like what they are. And I mean, they just used, obviously the fight sequences. I mean, the Yellow Ranger was not only a dude, but he was a
What about
pervert.
Lord Zed?
Zed was American.
Okay.
That was an American creation.
But he's a baller.
He's
dude.
badass,
That guy's
and they
fucking
could
awesome.
really. I mean, he's
Yeah.
pure, like looks like brain and muscle.
Okay, that's what I was trying to.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to get confirmation of when you said Zed, because I had the
Lord
image of the
Zed.
guy, but I couldn't think of what his name
The
was.
giant Z scepter.
You're right,
Dude,
He was dope.
awesome.
Like
was
when
gross.
he showed up, because you had Rita, and you're like, oh, who's this old lady? And then Lord Zed shows up, and you're like, oh
shoot.
homie means business. And he did.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously the same format, with Monster. Monster gets big, and then defeat Monster. But I don't know. I think it could be okay.
I think like looking at this costume, and some people might say blasphemy, but just looking at the design and like they even got stuff going on like under her skin and all this other stuff. It looks like a Marvel Studio quality costume, even if it's not the costume that we're used to. Like the effort put into it looks higher.
It is
production value.
so unbelievably different, though.
Yes.
It's
I'm not
It
arguing-
was a giant brown cloak. I mean,
Yeah.
like, what is she gonna? She's not gonna wear a robe.
I'm not arguing
Yeah.
differences, and I think the vast majority.
Nostalgia. I'm
Yeah.
gonna see it for nostalgia. That's
Right.
it.
I'm optimistic about it perfectly, especially since it's going to be PG-13, right?
I
This is
believe
going to be
so.
it's going to
Really?
be phenomenal. Yes, it's going to be great.
Interesting.
I don't know if that's confirmed, but I have a good feeling about it.
Why would it not?
Yeah.
What would be the point of making a movie of it?
I don't know
if
who
it's-
any
if
of
it's
the
not?
Rangers are either.
Huh?
I don't know who any of the Rangers
Well,
are.
the-
I've seen the
who's
pictures.
the
Yeah,
casting
it's
for it?
it's,
Right.
it's all
Oh,
unnamed
okay.
or not unnamed, but like
No names.
people, yeah, which I think is what it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as they
That's
can
cool.
act.
I
don't need Daisy Ridley as the Pink Ranger.
No, the Pink Ranger is I think she's a Hispanic gal.
No.
She looks tan in the picture.
Oh, in the picture. Oh, for the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because Kimberly was.
The Blue
White.
Ranger's a black guy. That I know. White Ranger, Red Ranger's white guy. Yeah, they've done the whole.
Well,
full
because
spectrum.
It
the
was so
whole
racist.
thing
The
about
color
the
wheel.
the
yellow,
the Yellow
the
Ranger
black.
being the Yellow Ranger, the Black Ranger being the Black Ranger.
The red was like an Indian or something.
Huh?
Part Indian.
The red,
Was
white,
he?
and blue were
Was
all
Jason-
red, white, and blue. Jason was white.
Jason was white. Jason was the first Red Ranger. He was not a Native American. That was
Billy-
something that they added.
Billy was white. Jason was white.
Tommy was white.
Yeah.
Well,
Red,
Tommy,
white,
Tommy,
blue.
I think had Indian in him.
Yeah, he looks a little Indian.
Yeah,
But he's not the Red Ranger.
no, I think didn't he fill in? I
He's
don't know.
inked up now too.
Is he?
Oh yeah,
He was
completely
recently in
covered.
Power Rangers again. I
does
think he was
cons
in a
and
couple of
stuff.
revived series. I could actually follow the Power Rangers timeline up until it stops being essentially the original cast.
Dinos is
Turbo.
where I broke off.
Really,
'Cause
you watched it
I was
that
an
far
adult.
up?
That was only like the second wave.
No, there's Mighty Morphin Power
Space
Rangers.
was second, wasn't it?
No, so it goes Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Then half of them like move or something,
When
so
was
they can't
Turbo?
be Power Rangers anymore. I'm going down.
I'm
the timeline.
sorry.
First Yellow Ranger's
So-
dead.
so-
Side note.
Yeah, she died in like a car crash
Yeah.
or something like that.
Wasn't she the Asian one?
Yes.
And she died in a car
But they
crash?
switched.
Right.
So they got a new Red Ranger, Yellow Ranger, and Black Ranger. Black Ranger became an Asian guy, and Yellow Ranger became a black woman. And then Red Ranger is just a different guy, Rocky instead of Jason. And then Tommy, before that, Tommy comes in, and then loses his power token, becomes from the Green Ranger, becomes the White Ranger.
Yeah.
But that's with Jason as the Red Ranger. Then there's Rocky. Then comes the movie. Then they get their animal. What are you doing?
Staring at the screen because I'm overwhelmed.
Oh my
No,
god.
I'm following.
Then they get their.
Just
then
right
they get
here.
Their,
Just give
then they get their animal power tokens. The frog, the ape,
Right.
whatever. Then they lose their power tokens. I don't know how. I think it's Rita. Then different Power Rangers from another planet have to come. The Alien Rangers fill in for them, build new power tokens. I think for them.
Yeah,
I could be
and then
totally wrong. And then they become the Zeo Rangers. And then it's the Zeo Rangers for a while. That's when the Turbo movie comes in. Is their Zeo powers or something don't
Wasn't one of the Rangers about yay
measure
tall?
up to that. Yes.
Turbo.
Then
The
Turbo.
They had a
the
baby
new
kid,
Blue
yeah.
Ranger is a child, but his power token brings him to a fucking.
And that's what they did with the
Turbo.
original Yellow Ranger. He was a little kid.
in the
They
The
Shaz-
Japanese
they
version of Yellow
Shazammed him?
Rangers. Yeah.
Shazam!
But that was the thing, is that he was a little pervert. Because he was a little kid, and so he was always...
So I
looking
heard
at
this
skirts.
thing about the Green Ranger today. Anyway, Turbo is about where I drop off. That's all I know. I watched it through Lost Galaxy. So then after Turbo, it's In Space and then Lost Galaxy.
Gotcha.
And then there's like more after that.
I saw the Turbo movie, Some of Space, and then Mighty Morphin. All
Is
like,
Goldar going to be in this? That's what I want. I
Well,
want
his mouth
Goldar.
move.
And
It's
will
like
he-
you made 2 movies with this dude, and you can't open his mouth.
And you never gave him back his
Yeah.
wings.
I'm so happy to finally be lost in a conversation.
Yeah, you do that a lot to people.
How does it feel?
So, guys,
Feels good.
Putty Patrol? I think,
Do we know what the putties look like?
I see. That's
do
what
we
I'm
know if there's
kinda-
putties?
Maybe they're gonna
Well,
take.
are
away-
there putties in the Japanese version?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so I just read something about the Green Ranger today, about how he's a lot more differently portrayed. The reason is he's a little scarce in that he has a separate Megazord in the American series, is because he's more of like a I'm butchering it, but he's more of like a infrequent necessity. He's only shows up when he's absolutely needed.
Can you guys imagine if the, what is it, Giant Machines called again?
Megazords.
Megazords. If the Megazord battles look something like Pacific Rim. But
They
it's-
won't. But yeah, that'd be amazing.
Like I said, I
even
didn't see
close would
Pacific
be
Rim,
cool.
though.
Well, but you saw the trailers.
Maybe. I mean.
I mean, granted, I understand, like, with the budget and things, but, like, when I watched Pacific Rim, the whole time I was thinking, I was like, man, I wish these people were actually efficient at doing anything outside of their robots.
when I watched Pacific Rim, I just thought this was as close to Evangelion as where we're gonna get,
As an anime, right? Or Magna?
Yeah, it's
yeah.
or Gundam.
Yeah.
Oh man, I would love like a Zoids or a Gundam movie. That
Gundam
would
Wing
be
movie
phenomenal.
would be so dope.
Yeah.
Mobile Suit Gundam, any Gundam, dude. It would be awesome.
So I know everyone's got, this is sidetrack, but we've done it plenty
That
of
would be
times.
fucking awesome. Gundam? Are you shitting me?
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you. But I'm saying, as much as everybody doesn't like Zack Snyder, I would love Zack Snyder to do Dragon Ball Z movie live action.
But they've tried it and they
No.
crapped on
That
it
doesn't count,
so
though.
bad.
No, they made Dragon Ball Evolution because they knew that was going to be something that was going to be demanded. I guarantee they had script after script after script being dropped on their desk. Fans rallying together. They wanted a Dragon Ball Z movie. They didn't want to do it, so they probably just put out this like
piece of
shit to shut you up, because they knew they were gonna fuck it up. They
Piccolo
knew that
was
it was
so bad.
They knew.
Oh, Piccolo's what you take
He
away
looked
from
like
that
the
movie?
Grinch. He looked like the kid Grinch with like the fuzz.
Goku's
yeah, it was so bad. No Krillin, and Goku isn't this confident, cocky, like all about it person.
We should review
He's
that
like,
movie.
I can't do this.
We should
You
MST3K.
Why am I? Huh?
He was freaking Aang from Airbender. He's like, Key. And just like blowing out
It was
candles.
absolutely horrible, and they all have the same car.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Yamcha was a total tool, but Yamcha is a total
And he was also one of the ugliest people I've ever seen in my life.
That's racist.
We
It's
all know
not
it was
right.
bad.
What?
I'm
How's
just
that? In what
kidding.
way? Oh my god! And I think Bulma was the only semi-exciting thing about the movie.
Well, it's because she had the capsule things. Like it's like, here's a capsule. This is a flying motorcycle.
Oh yeah, the Dino Caps. Yeah.
The
I thought Roshi was good.
Roshi was okay, but they
mean,
could have picked a better guy to play Roshi.
Yeah.
I think they need.
Justin.
Wasn't it Chow Yun Fat?
Yeah.
Huh? I think that was what was it? What was Justin Chatwin in after that? Did that like effectively kill his career?
I didn't think he had a career before that.
Yeah, he did. He had just
yeah.
been in a few. He was in Weeds. He was in The Invincible, the movie where he's like essentially dead, but he's like walking and they can't see him.
Oh,
He's trying to solve his own murder before he actually
Oh,
dies.
yeah.
That's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, no, that killed his career.
Huh?
That killed his career. Pretty sure. I mean, we could look it up on
That's
IMDb.
sad.
At some
He
point.
didn't. I mean,
Poor Goku.
I think we should at some point bring that back up and do like a full review for the movie, because when people ask me what's my favorite movie of all time, I have a really hard time answering that. Then people ask me what's my least favorite movie of all time.
Dragon Ball Evolution.
It's so easy.
It
hasn't.
The Dragon Ball
It
Evolution,
hasn't
absolutely.
changed in 6 years or whatever it's been. Like every time somebody asks me, I don't think about it. I'm just like Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yeah.
7.
7 is a great movie.
No, 7 years it's been.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
that's
I was
awesome.
like,
that you
you're
know
a
that.
terrorist. That movie's incredible.
And then also, if you guys ever saw Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li, it's almost equally bad.
Kristen Cruick, she left Smallville to pursue a larger career in film, and she was making the Chun-Li movie, and then it bombed, and she didn't even come back to Smallville.
I don't think anybody. I liked the animated Tekken movie a whole lot better than I liked the Street Fighter.
Did you see the live-action Tekken movie?
No, but don't they have two of them?
Yeah, I haven't seen the second one yet, but the first one entertained me, especially when Yoshimitsu showed up.
What does Yoshimitsu look like in it?
He looks like freaking Yoshimitsu.
I was talking to you, I think, about it, because it completely was swept under the rug for me. I had no idea they made a live action.
Well, it's basically like an independent straight-to-DVD movie, but it was fun. I thought the animated, you were talking about animated Tekken movies. The animated Street Fighter movies are really good. Some of them.
Okay.
But that's completely. What were we originally talking? Power Rangers?
Power
Yeah,
Rangers.
well, we're still talking about martial arts stuff. So it's
Oh,
close.
we were talking about getting like a Gundam. Oh, Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
I would love to see a Dragon Ball Z movie, but
Well, that would all be about visuals, and who does creative visuals? Zack Snyder. And I don't think it's that hard to do the story, and you don't really need a lot of depth, I think.
all you got to do is pick a saga. You could do Saiyan, Frieza, Cell.
Each saga should be a movie.
Yeah,
You
they
do
shouldn't
3
draw
movies.
it out.
No.
Huh?
They shouldn't draw it out.
They should do a Saiyan saga. They should do a Frieza saga, and they should
Right.
do a.
They
a
should
Cell
do.
saga.
They should do a Saiyan movie, or
Well, they won't do the whole in between sagas. Like essentially, I group them as like big, larger sagas, but there's the Android saga.
It'll
There's
it'll be the one thing that I think they
Dynamic
can
saga.
they can shorten and
saga.
fans won't bitch because
there's a lot of
they
filler.
take so much time.
I wouldn't be opposed to watching like a 2-hour, 45-minute long Saiyan saga movie, 2-hour, 45-minute long Frieza saga movie, 2-hour, 45-minute long Cell.
Well, I think Dragon Ball Z would be a perfect example of where you could have a theatrical cut and a director's cut.
Sure, but I think they could, if they wanted to be effective, start with Dragon Ball Z. They don't have to avenue into Dragon Ball.
Yeah, no,
But I think that's it.
you could get that done in a prequel.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's all the.
That's all I
the
wanted
stories.
to talk about. Yeah, so
And then we'll probably get on and do a Jungle Book at some point. But
absolutely.
thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Andy Sir, for coming. Once again, hopefully you have some more Star Wars stuff coming out soon to
Oh yes.
talk about and divulge into. It's great having you, and I think that's it. So, my sign off. You already know it. May the film be with you.
Thanks for listening.
Catch you guys later.
Again, I'm not gonna say it.